First, this bulletin from the WOR newsroom. 6 members of one family have been found shot to death in their night clothes in their expensive home in Amityville, Long Island. The only available information at this moment, according to the Amityville Village Police, is that the victims have been identified as members of the DeFeo family. They were found by a 23-year-old son, Ronald DeFeo, who is believed to be the only surviving member of the family. 6 members of the family found shot to death in their home in Amityville, Long Island. We will have further details on the 11 o'clock news.
Oh my God. Okay, there's no audio. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for that $50 super chat. Paranormal, thank you so much. I saw somebody got gifted a membership. Again, I was just saying, thank you so much, Lorium, for that. But what happened was, I thought we were live. We did a good 10 minutes. Dago was deep inside of a story. Thank you so much. Seriously. Again, I've had way too many of these. I'm flashing beers. You can't even hear me talk.
This is what that's called Feral Friday.
This thing might
Hold
be.
on.
This is.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, brother.
Why? There's an echo going on.
Do you have the YouTube stream muted?
Yes, completely muted.
Thank you so much. Seriously. Oh, yeah. I hear the stream coming from something.
It's muted, though.
This is what that's called Feral Friday.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can. There we go.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got it playing through something.
I have no idea.
Whoa. Because it was good a moment ago. That's hilarious. I'm going to look through the chat here just for a second. The chat is going crazy. Mountain Mama just gifted a membership. Joanne, thank you so much.
There we go.
Welcome to the party, pal.
But yeah, Dago was deep in a story. Like we were a good 10 minutes. We started like 10:34. I would imagine.
Had a great intro, led right into a Dago story. Everything was going nice and smooth, and glanced over the chat. People's talking about how we're not live yet. I was like, wait a second.
Okay. So last night, let me restart this whole son of a bitch. Last night, I didn't know what the night show was going to be. I had a poll up earlier, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna see what, you know. We have a lot of members here. Let's give you guys are producers of the show, right? Put up paranormal. We put up true crime. We put up aliens, and we put up a drinking game. And all day, head to head, was the true crime and paranormal. What's the most perfect combo there in the true crime community or in the world? The Amityville Horror story. And then, while sitting at lunch, actually while literally watching Dago, I was hanging out in his stream. I was like, man, who would be the most perfect person to have on here tonight for this? Who already, compares the real life story to the movie, none other than Dago. But thank you for joining us, brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate you for being here, man.
Absolutely. Anytime. What's up, everybody?
And yeah, everybody in the chat, give the beers out to the new members. 100%. Get your beers, everybody.
Dara Johnson coming out the gate with 5 gift subs. I mean, she's already done so much tonight before we even went live.
This is
and
amazing.
she's doing a little more.
Yes.
Antisocial Butterfly, Andy Libby, Jessica Christie, Tara, and Golf Inspector General. Welcome to the club.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you guys all so much. Get those satisfying pours in. Give them beers. A lot of beers in the chat right now, I'd imagine. Yeah, I guess the beginning of this might have had a little bit of paranormal activity.
I need a beer 5 minutes in because
if Dan needs a beer, hold on, Dan.
I'm fucking ready. Yeah. I'll let
get
you
her going, boy. Bam. Dan's got a beer break video, everybody.
Hell yeah, I will be right. It'll be 1 minute. Less than.
He'll be right back. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out and being here. Appreciate the hell out of it. Seriously. Yeah, we're going to be going over the Amityville Horror story, the real life story, and the movie, and basically the entire thing. I've got a bunch of notes here, guys. It's going to be a good one. We'll wait for Dan to get back. Everybody in the chat.
How many meatballs we got in the house in here?
Yeah, let's look at the chat here.
Where you guys at? You guys better be hitting that, leaving some DNA on that like button.
Absolutely.
Like I say. Please do that. Please.
Hey, while we're at it, while Dan's gone, we'll do a little bit of grifting. If you hit the like, that really helps us out, guys. Gets us out into that algorithm tonight. If you're not subbed up, if you're new here, please sub up. Hit the 3 dots on the side. Make sure all notifications are clicked. That helps you get all community posts. That poll today, and also members. That poll was specifically for members today, but I do a lot of other polls. And if you share this. If you share this out, guys, if you put this on your Facebook, if you put this on your Twitter, share this to your community. YouTube loves that. And again, helps this channel out tremendously. Thank you guys so much. And we have merch now. I'm wearing the merch shirt. I'm wearing the liquor glass.
Hell yeah.
Got that going? Hold on.
I need to get one of those.
Dan's back.
Everybody's getting merch. Everybody's getting merch. There's my first piece of merch there, guys. There's my first cup with my name on it.
I love that cup too. That's a dang cup. I'm gonna be getting one of those cups.
Cool.
It glows in the dark, fellas. It's not. I mean, this white, it lights up super bright.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I've got the perfect soundbite, Dan. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm sober enough to know what I'm doing, and I'm drunk enough to really enjoy doing it.
That is the Publicly Buzzed Feral Friday logo motto from Jim Leahy from Trailer Park Boys.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Oh my God,
brother.
I was so mad when he passed away because I knew that the show would never, even if it ever came back, it would never be the same.
Right.
Sadly, yeah, that's the truth, man. Looking through here the chat, everybody's filled up in here. Damn, you guys are awesome. What a crazy
That's another reason we thought we were live, because it was actually the audience was growing when we weren't even fucking live yet.
Our housewife was like, "Oh, we're just chatting and not doing the story," and I was like, "Yeah, haha, it's coming, But then Dan's like, "Are we live?" I'm like, "Wait, she's actually not seeing anything. We're not." Oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry.
That was a good story. I was into a good story too.
He was, yeah.
Dago was deep in the story.
Dago, if you want to repeat yourself, you don't have to. But we can go back
real
into
quick.
it.
I'm going to set it up. Something that we did not know. Dago is even more into paranormal than we knew. He's into some ghost hunting stuff.
Yes, a lot of you guys, my people that are in here, know this. I am a paranormal investigator. I have been for well over 14 years. I am certified, whatever that means. You go through classes for 3 to 4 months online. You receive a little certificate that says you are now a certified paranormal investigator. That being said, my wife became an ordained minister. She is also sensitive, as they call that, I guess you could say. And we started a group together called TRAP, Trumbull Researchers of Apparitions in the Paranormal. There we go. And we commenced to ghost hunting. And it's we don't do it as much as we used to anymore because we're both getting older and it's hard to get into some of them places. But it's been quite interesting. That's
awesome, dude. That's crazier than hell. I've been on one. I had some buddies that did some ghost hunting stuff, and I went on one thing, and I didn't have anything happen, but it was a cool experience to say the least. Real quick, Laura M popping through here. Member Laura M popping through with $5. I'm so over this week. Take my money. Now, real quick, this week for me was extremely rough as well. I'm coming off of vacation, and that's the worst.
Yeah,
500 emails, probably more than that. Probably like 1,500 emails ready for me Monday.
That's insane.
Had to get through out the gate. But then the rest of the week was actually still real busy. But yeah, Laura M, thank you for being here. We'll try to knock a little bit of that off for you. Yeah, folks. So Dago, how familiar? I know you're probably we're all probably familiar with the Amityville story, the Hollywood movie. How familiar are you with the actual story?
Very, very familiar with it. That was one of the first ones I covered in my Midnight series that I run, where I cover the true stories behind the Hollywood movies. I covered the true story. I covered both true stories, actually, with both families that experienced their experiences. And of course, being into what I was into, I did mondo research on that. So yes.
Cool. And we're just going to kind of run through a little bit of all of this. Straight out the gate, we're just going to kind of run through the murders here. November 13th, 1974. Robert DeFeo, I hope I'm saying that correctly, I've heard it enough times today, who was then 23, entered Henry's Bar in Amityville, Long Island, New York, and declared, "You got to help me. I think my mother and father are shot. DeFeo and a small group of people went to 112 Ocean Avenue, which was located near the bar, and found that DeFeo's parents were dead inside the house. One of the group, DeFeo's friend Joe Iswit, made an emergency call to the police department, who searched the house and found that 6 members of the family were dead in their beds. And and going into this today, one of the things that I'd either forgotten or didn't know right off was the way the positions of the body was. That they were all the same.
Yes. Yeah.
All laid out, belly down, arms up, right?
Yes, sir.
Different shotgun blasts, but
very odd positioning for a situation like that.
The victim's Ronald Jr.'s parents and his 4 siblings. All of the victims had been shot with a .35 caliber lever action Marlin 336C rifle around 3 o'clock in the morning of that day. The children had all been killed. Make that a little bit bigger for you guys too. Had all been killed by single shots, while the DeFeo parents had each received 2 shots. Physical evidence suggests that Louise DeFeo and her daughter Allison were awake at the time of their deaths. I was reading this today a little bit about the, I got that in my notes a little bit down the track here, but this goes right into it. In his confession, he was saying he had drugged them. Do you remember hearing that?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And then later on, well, I'm jumping ahead. I do that pretty well. Later on, he's trying to recant that, but
it's okay.
I think the fact that they were all killed with because I mean, I'm jumping ahead now, but if anybody follows this, I think he did it in '88, somewhere around there. But he's also, that's still the story that he retains today, is that the sister killed the family and he killed the sister.
Right.
The fact that they were all killed with that .35 caliber rifle, I think that's the evidence that kind of dismisses that. I mean, it's probably going to be pretty hard for anybody, I think, to believe that the sister killed everybody and then he had to kill the sister in self-defense or something like that.
There's multiple stories on. There's another story that they were in it together, that they had a relationship, intimate relationship with each other, and that the family did not. The parents knew about it, but kind of kept it hush hush because they were a religious family, and they did not approve of it, of course, because you're not supposed to do that stuff. So, and that they did it together, and then so she flipped out or something, and so he did that too. He ended her life too. So it's kind of like, okay, there's a lot of stories about it.
Creed 64 $4.99. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you for throwing that out there.
What's he talking about?
Arrow Friday.
That.
You talking about my lip in the middle?
What's going on?
Somebody said, "What's on Dan's stash?" I think it's just the skin in the middle of my mustache.
Yeah, right here, guys.
Let me see if I can put that together a little bit.
Thanks so much for that, Creed. Appreciate that. Oh yeah, Kimberly calling you the hell out. Helen popping through here. What's going on, Kayla? Hope you're having a good Friday night.
Sammy, ain't seen Sammy in a while. Good to see you, Sammy.
She won her last giveaway. She won the first shirt.
Yeah, she won our last week. We did a giveaway, which was, it's not this shirt. It was what shirt was it actually?
The other one, I guess, right? Wasn't
I think
it
I've
the
got it
other?
right here, ready to go. Nope, that's not it.
Was
What
it the
shirt are
live
you
one?
wearing?
Maybe
It was the live one, Publicly Buzzed Live. The one I have on right now is the one with the liquor glass.
Okay.
And then there's one with beers also. She won the one that actually is the logo.
What all do you guys have as far as shirts go?
Let me see here. Let me see if I can pull
pull
this
up the website.
Yeah.
I need to get me one to wear. See, that's what we should do, is we should all get each other's shirts, and then we'll wear them in each other's streams. And
That's a good idea. I like that.
Let's see here. We got some hoodies, also some shirts. Buzzed and Confused hoodie there, guys. Gypsy, that's my dog. Members are very familiar with Gypsy. They get a lot of Gypsy content.
I love that shirt.
Of course, the Feral Friday logos out there. Get that in hoodie form. And then today I will pop this out there. We need to get some details out there, but there's going to be some cool stuff happening merch wise that will be happening specifically on Feral Fridays. That will be drops coming soon. That I think people will be excited about. They got to have a Static Dan shirt.
Honestly, Stevie's super creative. I mean, just look at his thumbnails. He's crazy creative with the way he creates this stuff. So he's going to be coming up with designs all the time. And honestly, I think Stevie is a pretty easy process to have the design ready to go on a shirt, right? Like it's not a time consuming thing.
No, it's not too bad. if you know, if I have to create something that's a little different, but yeah, actually getting, if I can get once I'm ready to go, actually getting it to the shirts, no issue. So I can get it up here. And if anybody, here's the thing, producers of the show, anybody else, if you have any ideas, let me know. Like, let's, you know, we'll work together. What I'm saying with something that's going to be happening in the future is somebody from the community. Yeah, that's, and I just want to make sure that she, actually, I know, you know, it's Austin Rains. Somebody that's excited about this. We had talked in the past about merch. She's very creative herself. Yeah, we're going to be doing something in the future, and it's going to be exciting, man. I'm excited about it. So
yes, I'm excited. I need to get one. Is what I'm saying.
It's cool, man. Yeah,
you guys listen. You guys need to make one for me at least, because I had called out that one Thursday you guys were in. I called it Thirsty Thursday. I said I'd love to get a shirt that says
it's a good one. Yeah.
Thirsty Thursday with the Brothers Buzz on the front of it with your guys' face.
Yeah, actually, that's a good Brothers Buzzed. Even Thirsty Thursdays, Brothers Buzzed. You can make something cool out of that.
Something else too, like you guys remember the show, The Brothers Grimm? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that name. I don't know if I watched it.
Brothers Grimm, the movie, so on and so. Anyway, either something like that has that look to it with your guys' faces saying the Brothers Buzz would be hilarious. I think that'd be great. I would wear it. Just saying.
The Brothers Buzz is a great name too. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, that's perfect. Like
what I call you guys every time
Holy
I talk
shit.
to you guys, I call you guys the Brothers Buzz. That's what I said. It's my other family over here, guys.
Someone mentioned we do a beard oil. I think that's a little more complicated.
Well, beard oil. Here we go.
we can
create that right now.
We can just buy creates of existing beard oil and slap a sticker on it.
That's all you got to do is just take some old motor oil, throw it in a bottle, put a sticker on it, and you're done.
It's a Dapper Dan.
We're gonna rock and roll, baby. So okay, moving forward here just a little bit. The next thing,
Dapper Dan, goddammit.
Dude, Dapper Dan, yeah. Oh, damn, that's a good shirt too. That'd be perfect for you. But moving forward after the actual events, of course, I've pulled up here the 1974, the New York Times, the original article here, from November 13th here. Make sure it's, yeah, you can see that pretty well.
10 days before I was born.
Whoa, really?
Oh yeah, my birthday's November 23rd, 1974.
Whoa, right in there, yeah. A well-to-do car dealer, his wife, and 4 of his children, this is the article from 74, guys, were found murdered in their beds tonight here in Long Island, South Shore. The Suffolk County Police identified the dead persons as Ronald DeFeo Jr., 43. Just name those on the Wikipedia article there. The police said that their bodies were discovered in their home. Again, 112 Ocean Avenue. All 6 had been shot. Let's see. Chief Gables continued, no motive for the murders could be established immediately. However, Sergeant William Smith of the Amityville Village Police Department said it could be anything. We're not ruling out robbery. The Suffolk, police said that all 6 bodies were clad in night clothes and that the victims had apparently been killed last night while they were sleeping. They said that they were questioning Ronald Jr., who, after discovering the bodies this evening, telephoned the police. The murders caused shock and bewilderment tonight in this village of 10,000 residents. Amityville straddles the Great South Bay. Let me get to the next one. Let's see. It's horrible, said Donald Rickard, who literally down the block from the foes. I know it is cliche to use, but this is one of the last places where you'd expect this to happen. Number 112 Ocean Avenue is about a block or so from the bay. It is a large two-story house or a quarter-acre lot. Like most of the houses on the 3-line street, which ends on the north side of the Montokawe, the DeFeo's house has a swimming pool in the backyard and the front yard. It's a super nice area. Neighbors said the family had been very religious and attended church regularly. The police said that M. DeFeo had worked for several years for his father-in-law large car dealership on Coney Island Avenue in Brooklyn. Ronald Jr. worked there with him. Friends of the family expressed their sadness tonight. Allison was so quiet, so sweet. Going over the family here. When I heard this tonight, I just told my parents, let's move from here. Neighbors said that the area was not one with crimes of violence occurred. Again, this is 1974 in a nice neighborhood, like a upscale neighborhood.
Yeah, it was an expensive house when
Yeah, by
And
today's
especially in
standards, it's like
74.
worth $255,000.
Oh yeah.
And granted, we'll get there, but the next owners after this they bought it for $18,000. It's a fucking steal, dude. What they got it for. But of course, when we know why, now.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And then, that leads into after they actually have Defoe in the confession, he starts talking about how he drugged the family. See, Mr. Defoe reportedly indicated that during his 20-hour interrogation last week by the Suffolk County Police following his call to them reporting his discovery of the bodies of the Defoe family last Wednesday evening, all 6 of the slain family members, of course, they name them out here again, motives still sought. In an interview today, Dr. Howard C. Eldman, the Suffolk Deputy Chief Medical Examiner, said the ballistics test showed that the 6 family members have been shot with 35 caliber bullets. A police spokesman said the weapon we recovered is of the same make and caliber as the weapon we believe was fired in the Defoe slayings. Meanwhile, investigators continue their efforts to establish the motive of the multiple victims. Beneficiary of $200,000 insurance policy, and the police have not ruled this out as a possibility of their investigation. The question of drugs being administered to the dead family emerged today during the interview. There is a good possibility they were drugged. I don't know how they could keep quiet at the time of the shootings. Right? That's a good question, right?
Somebody in chat said you guys were muted. Is that true?
No, we're good now. They probably are watching from the out when I was muted.
Oh,
okay.
they could be back.
I'd imagine. Yeah, probably.
Just making sure.
That does happen a lot.
But-
Chat will start the video like way back, and they'll be behind and still be chatting like it's live.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a crazy story. It really is.
It is, yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure there's a third part to that. The possibility of the drugs that were administered to Defoe's is being pursued strongly by the investigators, particularly because of the rifle. It makes a great deal of noise when fired, but at least 5 neighbors reported that afternoon that they heard Shaggy, the Defoe family sheepdog, bark during last Tuesday night. Okay, so yeah, after this happens, the Lutz family purchased this place, right?
Yes.
Yeah, $18,000 they purchased the home for.
George Lutz.
George and Kathy, wasn't it? George
Yes.
and Kathy Lutz.
Yes.
They had children as well. I remember Jody because she had like an imaginary friend.
Yep.
I think that's the only child I remember. I think they had more though.
Jody was the imaginary friend that she was seeing.
That's right. Missy was the girl's name. That's
yes,
right.
There you go.
Yep. Okay, so there we go. There's the family picture.
That is the Lutz family.
And also, before we're about to dive into the Lutz side of this, but I did also have a couple of photos here of the victims here, the Defoe family.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Defoes. So, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, keep going.
And then, yeah. Oh, I think I got one more for them as a getting walked out here. But
that's old Butch.
So yeah, the Lutz buy this place though, and they're only here for a very short amount of time, guys.
28 days they lived in the house.
Yeah.
Before they dipped the fuck out. And as soon as they moved in, they had it blessed by a priest.
Yep.
I had his name written down somewhere. I don't remember it right off the top of my head. Because there's actually, I mean, there's people that have said that this priest doesn't exist. He's not real. So I actually wanted to mention him by name. If I can find it. Can't find it though. I did write it down.
I had it here. Hold on a minute. I have so much on this stuff. Hold on a minute. I'll give it to you.
Pecoraro.
Pecoraro.
Father Pecoraro.
Father Pecoraro. Yes. Yes,
So
sir. That's correct.
I'm about to go in here next is actually them on Good Morning America, talking about the events that are happening inside this house. Now, fellas, before we dive into that, I do want to run and grab a beer real quick.
Do your thing.
I will be right back.
God damn it.
It won't be long at all.
Get it.
It won't be long at all.
Get it.
I'm just going to look through the chat real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything crazy. Thank you guys all for hanging out. everyone for being here. Almost, oh my God, 90 people in here. Hit that like. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. Blow my mind every single time. Let me go get a brewski real quick, and Feral Friday.
That's a good question, man. Where the
on.
fuck is Jay at?
Where the hell is Jay at? What is
Jay ain't coming through and supporting?
Hey, he came through. He retweeted it, though. He did retweet it. I'll be right back.
Well, that's enough.
I'll be right back.
Buzz, they're calling themselves Buzzed Meatballs, Dan. That's what they're called.
Buzzed Meatballs. Okay, cool.
Buzzed Meatballs, soaking in the soil.
Because Meatballs is that's your crowd, right? That's what you.
That's our
I
people.
gotcha.
And you guys are the Buzz. Yeah, Buzzed Meatballs,
Nice.
soaking in the sauce.
I love the collaboration. That's
Absolutely.
great.
God, can you throw us all together with the turkey and the meatballs and the buzzed up? I mean, Jesus, can you imagine that?
Got a cool group that we kind of hang out with and do shows with and stuff. I mean, like I don't know. I don't know. Have you been doing this before, Idaho? I probably even talked to you about this before.
Yeah, I have. I started with in here on this. I started pretty heavy with the end of Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie, and then I delved right into Summer Wells after that, and from there I've done everybody since.
We started very briefly before Idaho, and then Idaho happened, and then that's when everything took off, right?
Yeah, you guys, and I never saw you guys or the turkey show until right after the beginning of Idaho, and then you guys just blew up out of nowhere. I was like, wow, okay, cool.
That case did a lot of help for all of us. I think that's.
Oh yeah, big time.
But it introduced us all to each other, and we've like every time you're a guest on our show, you've been amazing. We've had Drunk Turkey on,
Yeah, I think we have a great community going right now. There's a few exceptions that aren't really included with, but they have their own thing, but we all do very well together. I think very well, and I'm very happy with this side of the community. You
really find the people that you vibe with, and and there it is. I mean, you grow friendships through this, and it's fucking cool, man. It's awesome.
And like I said, from the first time I talked to you guys, I said we have to support each other and grow each other, and that's what we do. Exactly what we do. Yeah.
So in case you guys, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're all right.
I was just going to shout out, in case you guys didn't notice earlier, Dago has merch now as well. We promoted our merch earlier. Dago showed his cup earlier. So if you missed it, Dago has merch. Are you selling it on a site, or how are you getting that out to people?
I'm getting ready to set that up. I had to set things up with my merch girl to get things rolling yet. And I'm coming up with some ideas. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pull ideas from the community, because they're going to be the ones that want them, Of course, there's going to be t-shirts that have just the logo on it that looks like this, and I'll have that very soon here, because she actually made one today, I believe. And then I want to get some shirts that have like meatballs on it, or let's spill some sauce, or the sayings that I say and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So is there a way right now, or are you still building that part? I'm still building everything right now. We just started this like 2 days ago, so yeah.
Gotcha.
And I truthfully wasn't planning on it, and I literally got an email, no lie, I can show it to you guys, from YouTube. Somebody around YouTube, I don't even know who it is, to be honest with you, saying something about doing merchandise, and I'm like,
oh wow,
what is that? And it's just like I have that YouTube buddy thing, and I think it came through that, and it tells you how to do different things and so on and so forth. I've never seen that before. Anyway, so I just started looking at it, and I started talking to the community, this and that, and they're like, yeah, I do this and I do that. And then I talked to a couple other people that I know that have been on YouTube for a long time, and they're like, yeah, dude, it's time. You've been past the time to do that. You need to start doing. I'm like,
you have a large loyal community. Yeah, it's definitely
right, and that's what it is. He said, he goes, these people love you, they're not going anywhere, they want to wear you. And I'm like, okay. At some point, I don't know if I told you guys, but somebody, and I think it was Molly, said that they wanted a plushie of me.
Oh shit,
it'd be cool.
That sounds like plushie. That sounds hard to get done. I don't know how that works.
I already get a plushie made. I already have somebody that wants to do it. She said she'd do meatballs with little eyes on them and our sayings and this and that. And I'm like, so
no, that's sick. That's awesome.
That's
I made
really
a
cool.
joke about it. Yeah, I'm like, you guys, who wants to sleep with a little plushy Dago? And yeah, so yeah, we're gonna go which direction we have to go with it, I guess. So It is what it is. But like I said, I definitely want some of your guys' stuff. I've been wanting to get a DT shirt, and absolutely, that's the way we support each other, folks.
100%. That's the truth, man. Yeah, I'm going to be getting one of those tumblers for sure.
This one, like I said, it's badass. It glows in the dark.
All right, so have you seen this? Have you seen them on Good Morning America, the Lutz?
I think I did a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay. I thought this would be good to pop. Now, this is after, of course, this is even after the movies come out. They're here with the dude, but it's still cool because they're kind of going over what was happening in the house.
Why am I the only one without a name?
Oh shit, my bad. Hold on.
Son of a bitch.
Hold on.
Actually, if you have the clip from if you have the clip from the Leonard Nimoy show, that would actually be before this, then, right?
Yeah, it was.
Can you find that real quick? I'll pop that up here.
I sent it to you earlier.
Oh shit. Let me look.
It's the same clip that has the Warrens talking about it.
Okay, hold on. Gotcha.
Hold on,
I do have it earlier. I do have that lined up.
Because that was 76, I believe.
I've got that lined up, but I only had the Warren stuff lined up out of it. So where's that at?
Gotcha. Right at the beginning. Okay. They're the first ones to talk about it.
Cool.
Well, Leonard Nimoy pops in, but...
Here we go. Perfect. We'll watch both of them. Let me get the internet going. I got it.
Okay.
The name Amityville means town of friendship. The house that was for sale at 112 Ocean Avenue was a dream turned into reality for the family of George and Kathy Lutz.
I described the house as charming the first time I saw it, because that's what I thought of it.
You know, and I was saying, Kathy, do you believe this? And she said, no, I don't believe this. You know, it's a lovely house. We don't feel there's anything wrong with the house. The house is it's a happy house. It's a house to have a good time in, to have parties in.
Everyone in the area knew that the year before, a family of 6 had been murdered here, so no one wanted to buy the house. The price was very reasonable. George and Kathy decided to ignore superstition and buy it. They settled into their new home just before Christmas. As is common with many Catholic families, Mrs. Lutz asked her parish priest to stop by and bless the house. This blessing began in the sewing room and seemed to set off a chain reaction which would jeopardize the lives of everyone involved. Because of...
I was blessing...
is that the actual...
I was...
To tell us his story.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe it is.
Okay, cool. I was going to skip ahead, but I do want to hear that.
Was able to locate him, and he agreed to tell us his story, but only if he could remain anonymous.
I was blessing the sewing room.
There was controversy
It was
around
cold.
the priest. Like, some people didn't believe he was real or existed, or this guy was even fake. I mean, there was a lot of controversy around it.
There was controversy around this whole thing with the Lutz family. Yeah.
Oh, and we're going to get into the, you know,
Right.
the real shit. Yeah.
Yeah, my notes are, I'm about halfway through them. We still got some other stuff to dive into here.
It was really cold in there. And I thought, gee, this is peculiar. You know, because it was a lovely day out. And it was winter, yes, but it didn't account for that kind of coldness. I also sprinkling holy water. And I heard a rather deep voice behind me say, "Get out." It seemed so directed toward me that I was really quite startled. I felt a slap at one point on the face. I felt somebody slap me, and there was nobody there.
Later, George and Kathy couldn't believe that flies could be swarming in the dead of winter.
Always the flies.
Then they puzzled over a toilet that, when flushed, these and other events began to unnerve them. Strange events also affected the priest who blessed the house. He discovered blisters were festering on his hands.
I went to the doctor for it, yes. and he couldn't explain it. He thought it might be caused by anxiety, and of course that's feasible. But I don't think I'm given over to psychosomatic responses.
He called the Lutzes to warn George and Kathy. Noise interference prevented any communication.
Kathy?
He could never get through.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, what's up with you?
Hello.
Unexplained phenomena in the house increased.
Each room had its own
Personality?
own thing, yeah. In time, you couldn't deny that something was very wrong because too many things didn't add up.
Frightening spirits seemed to inhabit the whole house. Kathy felt compelled to talk to the priest. She wanted him to come back and bless the house again. Further attempts to communicate with the priest, however, seemed to be sabotaged.
Father, are you there?
Hello. Hello.
A faulty phone connection?
Hello,
Perhaps. For almost a month, George Lutz was attacked by a sensation of intense cold. For days on end, he would neglect his work and his appearance, constantly stoking a fire that never warmed him enough. His personality began to come apart, bringing emotional surges.
Confusion, anger misplaced because I would direct it at Kathy for no reason. Moodiness. I lost 20, 25 pounds there easily during that 28 days. I didn't eat. I didn't go to the office. My values were such that the only thing important was to keep warm and keep a fire going. Everything was very erratic. Our own behavior was erratic.
George still believed he could take things in hand and cope with the unknown horror.
As I do know, when I met George in the first place...
Jay Anson is author of the book, The Amityville Horror.
He's an ex-Marine, built like a bull, and he's the type of guy who can handle any situation with his fists. He literally can. So that when he was approached with this kind of phenomena, he had no idea what he was coping with. None at all. He didn't even know the meaning of the terms in phenomena.
A new problem plagued the Lutz.
1 second here. I'm going to go from that, and then I'm going to go into the Good Morning America interview here. Now, this one was pretty fun to watch. Just, which I'm a big fan of. How we talked about this last time, like classic, like TV like this. But the vibe of it, yeah. I think this is 79. I think July 79.
13 minutes right now. Back in November 1975, 6 people were killed in an awful mass murder. I don't know, it's got to be awful, in a small town on Long Island. The town is called Amityville. The murders took place in this house. 1 year later, George and Kathleen Lutz bought the house, and they moved into it with their 3 children. After living there for 28 days, they were convinced the house was possessed by some kind of evil force, and they left their belongings, and they fled, and they were really terrified. The events that supposedly took place there during those 28 days have been put down in a best-selling book. It's called The Amityville Horror, and there is now a movie out, or about to come out, of the book. George and Kathleen Lutz are with us this morning to talk about what happened during those 28 days in Amityville. And James Brolin, super young man, actor.
Thank you.
Yes, what pleasure. Good to see you again, Jim. He plays George Lutz in the movie, and Jim is with us this morning, and it's great seeing you again.
Great seeing you again.
Lutzes, good morning to you both.
Good morning.
All right, first of all, the book and the movie depict all these kind of weird, strange things that happened in the house during those 28 days when you were there. What kind of things, George, happened physically? What were some of the things that happened that scared you?
Well, at first, just moving into the house was fine. It's a lovely house.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed moving in. within a week, Kathy's hand had been touched by something that we discussed and couldn't explain. It was just something unseen. Within.
I mean, this is in the daylight, or was it?
Yes,
It was during the day.
Right.
Okay.
We also had hordes of flies that would appear within 2 rooms. And no matter how many times we would kill them, they would reappear.
All right, now flies can be a real problem in this part of the country in the summer, in any house, you know.
But if you have 2 or 3 or 4 within 1 room, that could be commonplace.
And it
But
was
when
the
you're
winter.
talking over 100,
Oh, this was the winter.
yes,
And you're talking about how many?
over 100 flies
Over 100
at
flies.
one time, and then you'd go around and kill them. They'd be lying on the floor. You'd come back an hour later, and they would be there, more of them.
Okay. There's something about green slime. What was that? On the wall in the movie, this green slime comes out of the walls? Right? George, did that happen?
As the movie did it, not exactly, no.
Yeah.
It was more of a gelatin kind of substance that we thought the children had somehow mixed something up and spilled it around the house. The next time it happened, the kids were at school, and there was just no way to explain how it got there.
Did you all call, a contractor or a carpenter or anybody to come and look and try to...
We had several repairmen come in. Telephone repairman came 3 times because each time we would try and communicate with the priests, we would run into faulty connections. We had extreme fluctuations in the heat, between 40 and 50 degree fluctuations. 3 times the serviceman came in. One time he was there, he heard the furnace functioning, and yet there was no heat within the house. The temperature was at 40, and yet the thermostat read 80.
Okay, no, but you had somebody inspect the entire heating system. Goodness knows those of us who live in the north know what can happen with heating systems in a house, especially old houses. George, there was also something about black in the toilets, the water black and making the ceramic, the bowls or whatever
The
black.
china itself, it wasn't in the water. The china itself turned black, and at first it was one bathroom and then another and then another, so that by the time the investigators got there, a number of them was still black. It was still that way. There was never any reasonable explanation.
Did you have a plumber come in? I mean, when you first spotted
No,
it,
there wasn't. It wasn't a problem with the water. The water was clean. It was normal.
But did you invite any contractor, somebody like that, just to come say, hey, what's wrong with the toilets?
No, because
You didn't, yeah.
one of the things we found was the keyholes would ooze a black substance, which was of the same nature and appearance as that which was on the porcelain in the toilets. And when the investigative team came on March 6, 1976, the substance was still on the keyholes, and they were able to obtain samples of it because it was never in a moist condition.
That's killing me right now.
And they wouldn't do physical damage to the door. In other words, carve out a piece of wood without our consent.
Oh my God.
Had either of you had any experience before with the occult or the supernatural? Ever before?
We didn't believe in it.
Were you afraid for your children? Why didn't you leave earlier than the 28 days if you were terrified?
Well, it was our house. First of all, we had never intended to give it up. Even after we moved out, we intended to find out what was wrong and move back in there. That's why the investigation was held, and people from different psychic research groups that at least we could check their credentials were called in and asked to come in. We've been asked many times why we stayed so long. It's very hard to remember the exact emotions or the moment why you would make a decision or why not.
But you finally did make it.
Well, by the time
She's basically in a fucking coma over here.
we left,
Don't get too excited telling us about the ghost flies.
we lost a considerable amount of weight. Kathy was passing out quite regularly.
Yeah, when skipping ahead again, spoiler alert, when the lawyer first approached these people, he's probably like, after the end, he's probably like, fucking hell, this is what I'm fucking dealing with. All right, listen, guys. You probably had to tell them like 50 times.
Yeah.
Like, here's what we're doing. They're like, flies?
I had lost over 26 pounds, and we were just reacting from one happening to another. We weren't really
mad at them because they didn't have any personality. Jesus.
We weren't thinking, yes,
Wake me up
as we normally would.
Jim, You played George.
That
in the
house
movie.
knew its worth. It didn't want these fucking people coming in, $18,000 paying for it. Fucking cheap bastards. Get the fuck out.
That house knew its worth. Yo, ain't no bitch ass house.
Get out.
Oh my god, dude, that just murdered me. It was amazing.
And you did research this and worked on it and so forth. You smiled. Do you believe them?
Do I? Yeah, when I'm sitting here with them, yes, I do. And I've watched George, and I've watched, you know, you've been an actor, David, and you kind of know how to watch for telltale signs when you're doing research and watching to people, and we also, well, you get an insight. And I can't say that looking over the story, I believe the book as it's presented totally. But sitting with these people, it's hard to deny a lot of the facts, too. George gave up a lot of money.
Yeah.
More than I think that he would make on the book.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
So bad right there.
Why would you keep up?
Sitting with
Look, she just tried to say something. He completely cut her off.
it would have taken her an hour to say it.
Yeah, when she first got started, they were like, Jesus. This is live TV, ma'am.
Right, the guy holding the microphone over her head fell asleep. His arm fell asleep.
It's like, hits her in the head.
David,
Right.
and you kind of know how to watch for telltale signs when you've been an actor.
Do you believe them?
Do I? Yeah, when I'm sitting here with them, yes, I do. And I've watched George, and I've watched, you know, you've been
when I'm
an actor,
cashing that
David,
check, yes,
and
sir.
you kind of know
Absolutely believe
how to
it.
watch for telltale signs when you're doing research and watching to people, and we also, well, you get an insight. And I can't say that looking over the story, I believe the book as it's presented totally. But sitting with these people, it's hard to deny a lot of the facts, too. George gave up a lot of money.
Was even ready for
More than I think
You
that
see
he
her
would
like
make on
she
the
like
book.
goes over here like yeah. She's on volume or something, guys. Quaaludes.
She actually starts to speak here in a second, and the host cuts her off.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why would you keep up working on this if it was terrifying and not a...
He's like, we're talking here, lady.
The men are speaking.
What is she doing here? She can't even form a fucking sentence.
Oh, fuck.
Not a pleasant experience. Why don't you just leave it behind
This is the
you?
70s. When was this?
This is 1979.
Is this still the 70s?
This is
Okay.
before
This is the 70s.
women had rights.
I don't think she has any anyway. She can't speak fast enough to form a fucking sentence. Excuse me.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck.
This poor lady.
I'm telling you, Quaaludes,
Well,
fellas. They were
Quaaludes and yeah, and did you get to the part where these motherfuckers love drugs?
Oh,
I mean,
God.
these
We do
men
have to
love
pick carefully. I
drugs.
think like 90% of our audience is women. We
That's
got to
what-
tread
that's
carefully
what-
here.
That's what Bolin was saying. He was like sitting here with these people. I realized that they're either not damn mind stoned on Quaaludes. So yeah, I believe anything they say. I mean, come on.
Forget it and move on to other things.
Things of this nature happen quite frequently. And when they happen to
you?
families, no, not to
Oh,
us.
yeah.
This was something we learned from the investigators and the psychics that came in. And when it happens to a family, usually they close the door and they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And unless these things are talked about, they'll never be understood.
We went out when the movie was being filmed, Jim. We went out to the house and talked to the couple who live in the house, or did a year ago. And they said they'd had no problems whatsoever. Everything was just fine. And they implied that this is all a big hoax.
Well, one of the things we're very happy with is 4 weeks ago, both of us were subjects of a polygraph test.
Right.
It was given by Chris Gugas and Michael Rice. And we
Whoever
both
that is.
passed with flying colors. We
Sure.
were tested separately on it.
Is the movie fun?
Well, the movie's very effective, I think. And I'll tell you, when I was sent this script, and, you know, we're all at the mercy of scripts in this business, I read it. I was working on another picture, and I didn't have much time, and I read it quickly, and they wanted an answer. And I just thought, this is going to make a terrific movie. And when I called, I said, let's get involved, and the agency said, why don't you pick up the book tomorrow? And I said, oh, yeah, there's a book. And then the next day I found out it was a true story. I wasn't aware of it. And so my involvement from the beginning was really sort of naive. And I just took it as something that was going to be a wonderful movie, and it is. I didn't realize what I was getting into.
George and Kathy Lutz, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Living in Southern California. Weather's...
I thought that was interesting to kind of watch because it really in the what you sent me earlier, Dan, I kind of skipped through, and I was at that point in time actually only looking for the Warren stuff. But that was awesome to see them in not on a television type live situation. You know, he was in his kitchen just talking, but I like this one also. You kind of get a vibe of these people.
Yeah.
I actually want to throw out. I was super proud of my the way I found that 1976 video.
I didn't find that, bro. Like, and I'm pretty proud of my Google hunting skills. Like,
so I got to tell you how the fuck I found this thing. It was actually insane. So I was looking at Ed Warden's IMDb to see everything he's appeared in, whatever, and I saw that Ed Warren had his picture for IMDb had the History Channel logo in the corner. Because I was like, that's what I want. Like, he looked kind of young in that picture. I was like, that's what I fucking want. I want to know, where was he talking here? Because this was the first case they broke. Like, that broke them, I should say. Like, that made them big. This was the case that made them big.
That. Wow.
Yeah, it was.
So I was like, they got to be talking about Amityville and that History Channel shit. So I was like, I was searching the Warrens on the History Channel, trying to figure it out. I couldn't find shit. So I came across this guy named Hans Holzer. And he was a producer for this show with Leonard Nimoy, In Search Of. And he wrote books on Amityville.
Okay.
So I was like, well, fuck, he was a producer on this show, this In Search Of show. So I started looking through episodes to see if they had an Amityville episode.
Wow.
Boom, there it was. Found the episode on YouTube, and that's how I fucking found it.
That's next level shit, bro.
It actually took some deep dive shit to find it.
That's next level hunting skills, bro. That's some sleuthy shit. That's amazing.
I don't even remember how I came across the Hans Holzer guy. I can't remember. I think
Dan the man, y'all.
I had to get to him from Ed Warren somehow, but I can't remember exactly how.
Yeah, he's linked with Warren in a lot of things you'll see because he wrote a lot of books on that kind of stuff.
Now, before
you are now a professional, Dan.
Yeah,
we could not.
That's crazy,
dude. We couldn't find shit from like.
Well, me and Dan are like in real time at the same time hunting for stuff. We're kind of almost putting the show literally you're watching right now together in real time. And we get to the Warren stuff, and I'm like, dude, I can't find shit about them actually either doing the seance that I'm reading about or any actual. Because you watch these movies, and where the movies the Conjuring stuff, but they have these fucking teams doing the audio and the video. I'm like, where's this shit at?
Well, in real life, they had teams with them. They were actually no, that was it. Hans is the one who put that together. So when they went to the it was fucking ChatGPT. That's fucking how I got to Hans Holzer.
AI.
So I was asking ChatGPT if they ever released footage from the original Amityville investigation, and ChatGPT told me they didn't. And I was like, well, hang on, they had. Again, you guys got to talk to ChatGPT.
You're literally just talking to ChatGPT like a person right now.
You guys have to use it that way.
Hold on, don't lose your place. But so you're asking ChatGPT in real time, where's this footage? It's saying there is none, and you're saying, well, hold on, like, hey, me and you were talking. You'd be like, hey, wait, no, hold on. I know there's something. You're saying that to it like a question.
I know they had a crew. Exactly.
You're making it dive deeper?
Dude, I'll screenshot you my conversation with ChatGPT and you can throw it up.
Bob's head is exploding right now. I'm gonna put his emojis up, everybody. AI Bob. Sky Bob, as I like to call him.
Here, I'm gonna send you some screenshots right now of my conversation.
Skynet, yes.
All right, so here's the first one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, okay. Yeah, let me clip this out real quick.
Oh
and
Lord.
Then here's the second one. So this is how I got to Hans Holzer. And then I did Hans Holzer's IMDb and found this In Search Of show and looked through the episodes and found the Amityville Horror episode, and that's how I fucking found it. So ChatGPT was behind the whole fucking thing.
So here's the first one. So here's the first one.
Yeah, you got to cut. All right. So, did Ed and Lorraine Warren do a documentary on the Amityville house in the 70s? Ed and Lorraine Warren did not produce a documentary on the Amityville house in the 1970s. However, they were involved in the investigation of the Amityville haunting and wrote a book about it. The case, known as the Amityville Horror, gained significant media attention and spawned several films, including the 1979 movie titled The Amityville Horror, which was loosely based on the events. Ed and Lorraine Warren were paranormal investigators who became well known for their involvement in high-profile cases, including the Amityville haunting. They founded the New England, yada, yada, yada. And then I told it, they had a crew with them when they investigated the house, though, with camera and equipment. I apologize for the confusion. You are correct. Ed and Lorraine Warren did conduct an investigation in the Amityville house with a crew and equipment, including cameras. However, they did not produce a documentary on the Amityville house themselves. During their investigation of the Amityville haunting, which took place in 1976, the Warrens worked alongside paranormal researcher Hans Holzer and a television crew. Their findings and experiences were documented by the crew, but the footage was not released as a documentary by the Warrens themselves. The Amityville case did receive extensive media coverage, yada, yada, yada. Was any of the footage from the original investigation with Hans Holzer released? And then I sent you the second step.
Let me get the other one.
Which it may not even be important.
It's just interesting. It's really just interesting the way that it's answering you. Dude, I mean, I don't want to call it a lie, but it didn't answer you correctly the first time.
It did answer correctly, though. I asked specifically if they released anything, and they said no, they didn't release anything. You do it. You have to poke and prod it, right? You have to kind of give it more detail.
All right.
Was any of the footage released? The original, to the best of my knowledge, no official or widely recognized footage from the original investigation of the Amityville house with Hans Holzer and the Warrens has been released. While there are reports of a television crew accompanying the investigation, there is no known documentary or substantial footage. Yada yada yada. Are you aware of any appearances of Ed Warren on the History Channel? Because I saw that picture on IMDb that he has been on the History Channel for something, and he was younger. So I was like, that's what I want. I want to know where that was from.
Yeah.
Yes, he made several appearances on the History Channel. He and his wife, Lorraine Warren, were known for their work in the field of paranormal investigations. One notable appearance of Ed Warren, the series called Haunted History, but none of that helped me. But that name, Hans Holzer, that's how I've fucking landed.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
So yeah, ChatGPT got me there.
That's awesome.
Here's the thing I can't get past is ChatGPT apologized to you for being wrong.
Yeah, it talks to you, and that's kind of programmed into it. It'll talk to you like, and like, dude, I call ChatGPT out every day. I use it for work every single day, and this is what I was telling Bob. Like, it'll give you wrong answers very confidently all the time. It's very confidently wrong a lot of the time, and when you call it out and you say, no, you're not right, or, hang on, if that's true, then why is this true? And it'll be like, well, I'm sorry, I apologize, or thank you for the correction. It'll say things like that to you.
Crazy,
dude. That's trippy.
But dude, talk to it like a fucking person, dude, and you get your answers.
Like, I've been working on some stuff here recently, and I've been doing kind of some script stuff with it, and it's in. And
you treat it like Google, like a Google.
That's how
search.
I treat it, like research stuff. Like I'm asking it, but I will kind of go like if it. And I've actually been doing my YouTube descriptions with it. I'll do my title myself, and then I'll put the title into the ChatGPT, and I'll tell it write a good YouTube description. And if you guys look back at any of my recent lives or even videos of the description, they're probably worded a little bit more smartly than I would say them. ChatGPT is doing a really good job at making it sound amazing. So.
It's a super useful tool. Super useful tool.
I wonder what happened if you swore at it while you were typing in a conversation. I wonder
you can. It doesn't care.
Crazy.
It won't swear back. You can't make it swear like you swear word. I've tried to get it to write scripts with like curse words and things, and it just basically refuses to do it. Now, when it first came out, it was a little more unhinged. It had like less boundaries around it, and you could get it to say a lot of things. You could get it to do all kinds of wild shit. But they've kind of restricted it a little more now.
Probably because kids are using it now a lot, for this and that. And they
too mainstream. Yeah, it's too mainstream.
Exactly.
So, just to move forward, I'm looking at my notes here just real quick. So attorney William Weber, the defense attorney for DeFeo. So this dude is kind of the whole reason we're even talking about this, right?
Yep.
Hold on, let me move this over. So this is a picture of him here. Thank you, Dan, for getting this picture. Again, William Weber, he was the guy, he was the defense attorney for DeFeo, and he contacted the Lutz family.
So yeah, just to preface this is the reality of the Amityville Horror story. We're getting into, so we've heard the story from the Lutzes, the hauntings, the crazy stuff. This is the reality. All right. This is, we kind of want to bring the reality of the situation to light here, because a lot of people may not know this or have heard this. But this is what was really going on.
So here. So yeah, let's see here. Amityville Horror, blah, 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 blah. When William Weber, attorney for Butch DeFeo, sent a book contract to the Lutzes, which covered a proposed company, a corporation like Weber, Mars, Burton, Lutz were, Kathy and George Lutz were to receive each 12% of the shares. Since
hang on. Before we even get into that, I want to make it aware, and they may say this later. I don't know if they do though, but I just want to make it clear. Lutz wanted an insanity deal for Butch.
Okay, yeah.
Right? He wanted it. So he had stakes in this. He wanted an insanity deal. The Lutz were broke. They wanted money. So that's the motivation for what Stevie's about to read.
Yep.
Yeah, the Lutz determine. Okay, yeah. Since Paul Hoffman was the writer, he would receive, that's the deal that they're making here, 40%. The Lutzes terminated their proposed venture with Weber because they felt he wanted to tie them up with an unfavorable contract. Instead, the Lutzes chose to go with author Jay Anson. The contract they eventually signed with Anson offered a more lucrative split of 50%. Nevertheless, this did not stop Hoffman from selling 2 articles from the Lutzes experiences. The first article appeared in the issue of the New York Sunday News on in 76, titled "Life in a Haunted House." The second was Our Dream House Was Haunted in 77. Both articles were nearly identical. In May 77, George and Kathy Lutz filed suit against Paul Hoffman, William Weber, Burton, and Mars, Good Housekeeping, New York Sunday News, and the Hearst Corporation. The suit, the Lutzes alleged invasion of privacy, misappropriation of name for trade purposes, and negligent infliction of a mental distress. They sought relief in the form of $4.5 million. In turn, all of them each placed a counterclaim against the Lutzes for $2 million, citing they had perpetuated a fraud and breached a contract. Judge Jacob Mishiller dismissed the claims against Good Housekeeping and the Hearst Corporation because there were no invasion of privacy issues, and because the plaintiffs had failed to state a claim upon which relief could be granted to them. The judge, however, eventually handed this case over to Judge Weinstein. When the actual trial began, Judge Weinstein, known to be a no-nonsense judge, presided over the case in Brooklyn. On September 10, 79, Judge Weinstein dismissed this Lutz's suit and allowed the defendant's counterclaim to continue. He said, "Based on what I have heard, and it appears to me that to a large extent the book is a work of fiction, relying in a large part upon the suggestions of Mr. Weber." So
yeah, and actually, hang on, I want to stop you there because so originally, basically what happened was, and I don't know why they didn't say this. They may say it somewhere else on this site because that site is actually insanely good for the entire Amityville story. But basically what happened was Weber wanted that insanity deal, and he went to the Lutzes to sort of work something out, right? The Lutzes live in the house currently, and they basically, like, it's basically even known that they sat down and they cooked up a story. They cooked up the story, the Amityville Horror story that everybody knows. They basically took real events that happened and just fucking made them insane. I mean, not real events as in paranormal events. There actually weren't any paranormal events, but they would like take things that happened to them and completely blow them out of water and make them paranormal.
Yes.
I mean, there's even an instance where one of the Lutzes said that they saw like hoof prints outside the house in the snow, and there was no snow on the ground during that time. Like, they said that the doors and windows were being damaged. No, none of that happened.
Yeah,
all the doors and windows were fine.
Yeah, later occupants of the home actually said it's still the original locks that were on that. Nothing's ever been changed.
Yep.
And there were there's never been any other issues with it at all. You know what I mean? Like everything that pretty much Lutz said was completely embellished, completely made up, basically, just to get
with Weber. They built the story together,
which is crazy, right? You have this guy that's defending this dude, and he's sitting back here like, huh?
Right.
And what can I?
Because he wanted that insanity
plea.
plea. He wanted the house to be demonized so that the judge would believe that he was compelled to do it through some demon in the house, right?
Right.
But what's even more interesting is, you know, he's trying to sue them and stuff, you know, here, or they're talking about lawsuits in that part you just read. Weber actually tries to sue the Lutz later for stealing the story. He was like, I helped create that story.
That's the funniest part of it right there. Loved it.
Dude. Okay. So make sure I got the right thing here. Let me make sure.
Because Lutz wasn't giving them a good enough deal on the story.
Right.
Like Lutz wanted the most of the profits out of the book deal. Because that was the thing too. I actually didn't mention that, but Lutz already had a book deal going, and he was smart. And then they cooked up the story. But he was only going to give them a certain percentage, which I think they mentioned there. It was like 40% or something like that.
40%.
Or may have even been less.
And then got a better deal.
But they took the story that they cooked up and took it to the author of the Amityville book, and he gave them 50-50.
Right.
I mean, Weber's right. He had played a part in creating that story. He deserves some of that credit. He deserves some of that money.
Hey, listen, man, fellas, I have to run real quick. I have to just take a piss. Straight up, have to take a piss.
Get it.
I'll be right back.
Shit.
But when I do, we're gonna watch a little bit of a 2014 interview with DeFeo.
Have we watched? Did you guys? When I was on break, did you guys watch the Warrens?
Oh shit! No, that's next. My bad. No, I'm skipping.
Okay.
My bad. That's next.
Gotcha.
My
I was
bad.
wondering.
Hold on. Let me set that back up right about here, and that'll be what we go into next. Then the interview. I'll be right back, guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Filled up in here still. Oh my god, that's awesome. Thank you all so much for hanging out. That's fucking amazing. Feral Fridays, hot and heavy. Fellas, I'll be right back.
Absolutely. Feverishly fun Feral Fridays. Gotta love it.
Quadruple F's, baby. We got to keep that alliteration going.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out again. Actually, listen, chat. I got a secret. I got to tell you guys a secret. Get in close. Come here. Put your phones close to your face. Get close to your TVs. Whatever you got to do. Get close to me here. I got to tell you guys something. We have merch. It's not a secret. We talked about it earlier. We've been talking about it all week. We have merch. Go to publiclybuzz.com. Go get you a t-shirt, a hoodie. Support the channel. Do it and look cool doing it. We got a bunch of cool designs out there. We accept PayPal, credit cards, debit cards. Stevie's working his ass off getting designs together.
Food stamps, whatever you got.
Doing well. I wish. I mean, it would be nice if we could accept everything, wouldn't it?
I'm kidding, guys.
But but yeah, Stevie's working his ass off. He's got to manually put these orders in because we work with a local guy who does t-shirts, and Stevie's shipping them out personally. Hell
yeah.
Yeah, go support the channel and look cool doing it. Honestly, we got cool designs. Like Stevie showed them off earlier. If you weren't here, his dog Gypsy on a hoodie or t-shirt. My dog Gigi making the goofiest fucking face of all time on a hoodie or t-shirt. The Publicly Buzz logos. Static Dan. If any of you guys are a fan of that annoying little fucking thing that happens literally every time, I'm probably doing it right now. Every time I go on a rant, I become Static Dan. So
I'll fix it. I got you.
No, I'm not. I was making a joke.
Shit, sorry.
Yeah, I was promoting the merch, and I mentioned Static then. But yeah, like I said, please.
Koozies, beer koozies.
Yeah, we're going to work on more stuff, of course, as things grow. But I mean, the only way that happens is if you guys support and go through. But you get something out of it. You know, you get some cool ass t-shirts and hoodies or whatever it may be. Well, I mean, eventually we'll probably do koozies, hats. All kinds of shit. Who knows where this thing's gonna go, right?
Merch is where it's at, folks. I'm gonna make my own brand of spaghetti. How about that?
Oh damn it! Put it in the fucking grocery stores and the Dago SpaghettiOs.
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
Look at the chat here.
The only thing in them are DAGO, right? That's the only letters in it.
Dara, that's going to be shipping out probably Monday morning.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to. What 2 weeks is like the target we're trying to hit as much as possible. No longer than 2 weeks, right?
I just want to say right now, every person that has purchased so far, thank you so much. That's freaking insane, like unbelievable, like that's crazy. My email has been going crazy, and I really can't believe it. It's fucking nuts.
Good for you. I'm glad. You guys got to support.
Real quick here. Yeah, I almost forgot. The next thing we're going to be going into, let me look at my notes. Yes, the war and stuff here. So again, we were digging, dude. Me, Dan, and Dan earlier, we're putting this show together. We're trying to, when I figured out, again, I didn't even know till about noon where I was going with this entire show. I was like, man, after I saw the poll, I was like, all right, perfect for Amityville. I think somebody said it. Maybe I said, I don't remember how the fuck it came about. Well, however it came about, when me and Dan started actually rolling on this thing, we're basically building it from the beginning while we're in real time messaging each other. And then at the same time, I messaged him and I'm like, dude, I can't find any Warren these people at all.
Yeah,
like,
I couldn't either.
Like, I can't find, I found a couple of, like, literally, it was like one or two things of them even talking on a show or something. I was like, I can't find any actual seance footage, anything like that I wanted. And Dan came through with this right here. The only other thing I found, and it's probably because it was super huge, is the Conjuring stuff. I found them talking about that activity. That's about it. Like, they're hard to really find footage on. I would love to find some of that original, that's out. And somebody has that, right?
Somebody has it for sure. Somebody has
like,
it.
there's footage of them doing a fucking seance in the Amityville house. Where's that at?
Fucking Hans Holzer, dude. He was behind all that.
Good luck.
I'm sure he's passed away by now, but his family, that's probably in a fucking storage building somewhere.
Exactly, dude. Yeah. That's in somebody's. That's just sitting there. Nobody don't even know what the fuck it is.
I believe that it is the Warrens' son-in-law that has all of their stuff. It's like copyright and whatever you want to call it, but I do believe that he, from what I understand, he does interviews and he does have footage.
Yeah, he has like a museum basically.
Yeah,
of their
he
stuff.
has their house.
The Annabelle doll and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can reach him, because I was looking for that stuff too when I covered this when I did it, and I could not find the seance stuff. I couldn't find any of the actual personal stuff that the Warrens were doing. It was like stressful as hell. I was like freaking out. It's got to be out here because they did it, but you cannot find it. So.
Fucking Joanne says it's on YouTube. I'm asking her.
Okay. I did find some stuff.
Oh, I totally tagged the wrong fucking person, didn't I? Jesus Christ. Of course I did.
Dara Normal. I like that. Yeah, happy birthday, Dara Normal. Yeah, it's her birthday on Monday, guys.
Dara Normal. I love that.
Boom.
Yeah, if anybody can find that shit, I don't think it exists, to be honest, but if you can find it, please. Mandy said it's probably in my basement. Yeah, it could be. Basement's full of secrets.
Your basement's full of secrets.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I am actually, Dara. Straight up, that's not coming from any company. It's actually coming from me locally.
Yeah. Stevie
these are coming from a local shop. Yeah, like it's.
Stevie 100%. Will have personally packaged it for you and everything.
That's why it took so long. A lot of literally almost. I mean, I'm not trying to show shade because that's probably the way to go. Maybe that's easier. I don't know. I went with a local company that I literally know these people. Like
it's the easiest. I mean, it's cheaper for us too, right?
It's really easy to actually just kind of get an online company because they do all the shipping and everything. Like I'm doing a lot of legwork, but at the same time, dude, there's something to that, bro. Like. Hold on, Dan's nameless. Dan's nameless. Hold on.
And that's what. Why am I always nameless? What's up with that? That's why everybody calls me Stevie's brother.
Oh,
they never know who the fuck I am.
The other guy.
Yeah, but that's what Dago said. Like what did you say? Your daughter-in-law or what was it?
I got my daughter-in-law doing all the printing and the designing, all that for me.
That's the way to go.
That's it, brother.
I'm gonna have to do the shipping. I know I'm gonna have to do the shipping, but. Maybe I'll have my mother-in-law do the shipping because she doesn't have anything to do and whatever.
We need to figure out stickers and shit like that. Like stickers are probably cheap to do. Like maybe do some.
Free stickers are for sure. That is actually the next thing. That's on my little list of for sure things. Yep.
But I mean, because we're doing it personally, we have the ability to do personalized fucking like cards or notes or like I don't know. I can't promise anything. I don't know what Stevie's plans are. I'm probably putting him on the spot here. I'm fucking up, actually. I need to shut up.
I will say I was joking around with the spaghetti thing earlier, but I am planning because I can hot peppers myself. We grow them, I can them, I make them, and all that. And,
shit.
Everybody keeps telling me I need to throw my name on them and sell them because they'll sell.
People will buy fucking peppers for sure.
Yes. So it may happen, folks. It just may happen.
Yeah, that'd be fucking dope. Hot peppers, bro.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
They're good, too.
Would you hate hot stuff?
Yeah, dude, I like some green peppers and stuff. Are you talking hot peppers? Like...
No, they're going to be hot pepper. If you sell peppers, it's hot peppers.
Well, I have hot ones, and I do the ones that are just in garlic and oil. Those aren't so hot, so.
Well, I have a very, very tame palate. I have a very tame. I have a very childlike mouth.
Zero spice.
I get it.
I'd still buy it. You gotta support him. I'd buy it for Dan. I'd get him as a gift. Dan's birthday's coming up.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. Yeah.
In a couple of months. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what I almost forgot here, the Warren part of this. So yeah, and everybody's familiar with these folks. Anybody seen the Conjuring movies? That's probably the most famous thing within recent time. Again, I would love to find some of this fucking actual seance, them on grounds of not only this house but many other ones, and I'm sure it's out there, but. Specifically today, we was looking for the Amityville stuff, and yeah, Dan found this.
State Prison in New York.
Is the rain still alive?
DeFeo has.
Do what?
No.
Is the rain still alive? They're both dead.
Yeah, they're both dead now.
Claimed that demonic voices goaded him into committing the gruesome killings. Neighbors and acquaintances of DeFeo were astonished at how George and DeFeo looked alike, how they both presented the same appearance. George feared that his recent personality changes were further indications that he might become more and more like DeFeo, and not just in looks. This disturbing revelation prompted the Lutzes to seek out psychic investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens have investigated many disturbed houses, and they examined the empty house, looking for an explanation.
What started the trouble with the Lutzes was the fact that there were 6 people who were murdered in that house. The inhuman, the diabolical, are attracted to where tragedies occur, just like a moth would be attracted to a light. And when the Lutz family moved in 13 months after these murders, they were still using some of the furniture that was in there. We know that vibrations can build up in a home like this of a negative nature, and suddenly we have a psychic explosion.
There are those who speculate that this psychic explosion was not really a sudden buildup from the DeFeo murders, but rather that Ronald DeFeo was the object of negative forces already on this ground. Research shows that the Shinnecock and Massapequin tribes lived in what is today Amityville. The actual Lutz home is built on land where these Indians imprisoned their tribal members who were deemed insane, evil, or possessed. Perhaps these tortured souls caused negative forces to inhabit the Amityville ground. This seemingly far-fetched explanation helped confirm something the Lutzes desperately wanted to hear.
We believe it was there when we moved in. We don't believe it came to bother us after we moved in, let's put it that way. You know, whatever was there had been there for quite a while.
Pause it for a second. I'm curious about something. So they bought this house for $18,000 in 1976. They apparently were hurting for money at some point after that because they wanted to do the deal. I mean, I don't know what hurting for money means to them. I don't know if they couldn't actually pay their bills or if they just fucking were greedy as shit and they just wanted more money, right? But they got the house dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Which I mean, $18,000 in 76. I don't know. We could probably put that into an inflation converter, right?
Actually, I saw something earlier,
But that sounds very cheap even for 76. $18,000 for that house?
I'll do it real quick.
It's a very nice house, probably in a nice neighborhood. The only bad thing about it is there were a lot of murder happened in it, right?
A little bit of murder.
A little bit of murder, just a little bit of murder happened.
In 1976
It was probably like an $80,000
is
house.
$96,000 today.
That ain't shit for a house.
No.
For that house, that's a
Yeah.
fucking $300,000 house. Easy.
100%. Yeah, that neighborhood. I was looking at that today. Yeah, that was a nice area.
So that ain't shit. So they got it dirt cheap, and we know why. Murders happened in it.
Listen, let me give you guys a real quick number. Today, we were looking at the fact that the Idaho house was given over to the college, right? There's an assessed value of that house is $383,700 and some odd dollars. That's
No, it's not.
Swear to God, dude.
Not anymore. It's not.
That's what it said as the assessed value, and I was just like, wow.
Before the murders, I guess, probably because it's a college town. But I mean, well, obviously they're tearing it down now, right? So it's worth zero.
The house was falling apart. The walls were separating and all that. And at that price, like, what's going on?
And it's a small town too. So like, you wouldn't think, like, we live in a small town. Me and Stevie do, and houses aren't that crazy. Like, I mean, like I live in a house that would probably go for $1 million if it was sitting somewhere else, right? But it's sitting in a shitty area. It's fucking like 6 feet from the goddamn road. I hear cars going by all the time. If it was on a private piece of land, 8-acre piece of land sitting right in the middle of that son of a bitch, private as hell, this is probably $1 million house that I'm sitting in right now.
Minus the because
because it's fucking where it is, it's nowhere near that. It's a fucking tenth of that, right? But yeah, location is very, very serious, very key. But I still wouldn't assume that Idaho house. What did you say? 380?
It's an assessed value. It's $383,700 and something. I can't remember.
It had 3 floors though. I mean, it was a pretty big house. How many bedrooms were in that house? 4?
No. There were
5.
6, I think.
6 bedrooms.
I believe so. Yeah. There was 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 2 on each floor.
That is a pretty big house. Yeah, maybe that's right. Maybe that's right. And it's in the college town.
Yeah.
I mean, that actually might be fair. That's a pretty big house. How many bathrooms?
3. There's 1 on each floor. 3.
Yeah, that's a big house.
3 bathrooms.
That might be fair. That might be a fair assessment.
What is it? Sorry.
But we know now it's worth 0 now because of what the fuck happened.
Completely.
Looking through chat here and I lost what I was looking for. Somebody sent us something. Is it Joanne? Totally lost it. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean that's a fucking big house. That's bigger than my house. I mean, my house doesn't even have 6 bedrooms. So
I don't know. Yeah, that's the Amityville one, man. Is it true? I was reading today on it that they've actually relocated the house itself.
I think it still sits there.
The same location though.
It's got to be. How do you move a house?
You can
They
move a house.
changed the address. The address is different. The street name and stuff is different now.
Yeah, it's the same. You can't just fucking move a
they've
house. It's
cha-
sitting on a
they've just
basement
changed
shit.
the
Yeah.
details of it.
Yeah,
Right,
you
yeah,
can't just move a fucking house.
Gotcha. I think you can move a house though, can't you?
Nah, not really. I mean, it depends on what kind of foundation it's on, I guess. I think, right?
We just had a house that was moved where I live, where I grew up at. It was a what the hell is that called?
Yeah.
A historical house. They moved it on a flatbed trailer.
I don't. I mean, I'd have to do some research on that.
The reason I say it is because I read it today. But it might have been that. It might have been the address and stuff. I read that because of tourists and stuff, like they had to do something. But I think that they would actually. It actually makes more sense they would relocate the house than change the address because it's so famous.
They changed the name of the road, I think it was, and they changed the address itself. So yeah. But yeah,
Dude,
you can.
I gotta be real. I had no fucking clue you could move a house.
Yeah, you jack it up off the foundation and you put it under the.
I figured the foundation was the foundation, and like once you detach it from the foundation, it's just gonna fucking fall apart. Basically,
I've seen it happen to a couple houses. They drive very slowly on a flatbed truck, and
that's the definition of foundation, right? Once the foundation's gone, the whole fucking thing falls apart.
There's a way to. I don't know what it is.
I'm just gonna.
Especially if it has a basement.
I googled it.
Especially if it has a basement, right?
Yeah, well,
clue me in.
how do you relocate a house? Typically, the procedure is to raise the building, which then pushed onto temporary rails or dollies. And an alternative is to use flatbed trucks. There are a number of professional moving companies that are able to do it. So,
damn, I had no idea. I never knew.
Now that one I think would be hard to move though because it's so big.
That's true though. I mean, I guess the size of it would matter. Because I couldn't imagine your house being
how the
moved,
fuck
Dan.
do you drive down the No, my house is impossible. That's what I mean. Like my house is made out of stone. You're not moving my house. Like it's not possible.
But I'd have heard about it, all right, guys.
My shit would definitely fall apart if you tried to move it.
Now,
for sure.
What and we're going to continue to roll here, but what I do have lined up next is actually, this is from 2014. We're going to watch this entire thing. It's very long, but I did want to get the very beginning of it because it has some interesting takes from DeFeo himself.
I'll be right back. Bathroom break.
Get it. We'll have her ready to rock when you get back, man.
Yeah.
And then let me get his a bathroom break video going there. Actually, hold on. Actually, I'll do it over there. Boom. Why it's so large. You doing anything this weekend, Dago?
Not at all. Just hanging out.
Nice. Not doing any streaming.
No, taking a break. No.
So I'm gonna for anybody that's in here I know it's early, guys, but Sunday mornings at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I've started to do something that we're calling Murder Church here. I'm doing classic trials, and we're doing the Jeffrey Dahmer trial right now. This is going to be week 4, and yeah, hopefully, I appreciate anybody coming in here, hanging out. Again, 9 a.m. We go to about 4 or 5 hours, usually to about 12:31 in the day. Again, this is going to take a long ass time to get through. I'm only doing the full trials on Sundays. That's the only time I have. It's the only real time period I can do it, and I'm doing it early in the morning. So we start with coffee, and by the time that we end this thing, we're usually having a beer or a drink. So I will give a warning right now. The testimonies have been absolutely insane. Really, it's an insanity trial, is what it really is. But yeah, please join me. I haven't got Dan to be able to wake up yet to do it, the son of a bitch, but join me Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern time for a little bit of Murder Church. Put in that work, guys. But you guys are the ones that make it worth it, So far, it's been fun as hell. I've been having a blast doing it, even though it's been crazy. Like, the testimony the last 2 weeks has been basically a detective that sat with this motherfucker 60 hours immediately after he was arrested. And he wasn't holding anything back. He just immediately started spilling his guts out, and it is gruesome. Like, he's reading it verbatim. And we're literally about 6 hours into this. Just that part. It's been crazy. To the chat here just real quick. Yeah, Daryl, let's field trip to the Conjuring House. I'm gonna get a bus. Publicly Buzz field trip to the Conjuring House.
I'm down.
That'd be dope as hell, wouldn't it?
Hell yeah.
Get that together. We're gonna get that together. That's a goal. I think that's a goal that we should, strive for here. What's going to be the first, festival type situation? Is it going to be the Conjuring House?
True Crime.
Okay, Joanne. Okay, yeah, Joanne. Where did you send that? Did you send that to my email or Twitter? I'm not really seeing anything. Where are you sending that? Facebook, maybe? Check there. There's a Publicly Buzzed Facebook.
I talk too damn much, huh? Okay.
Do what?
Somebody said I talk too much.
That son of a bitch. Or who said it? We're fighting them.
RL. It's all good.
Let's see here.
Does it too? Hey,
I don't have any messages. Joanne, where is that?
I guess I'll just check.
Joanne. Joanne. Through the chat here real quick. Oh shit, Missy Bam coming through with $10. Happy joy. Thank you very much, mate, Missy. Yeah, you were talking a little bit earlier about how you might be late here, but thank you. Appreciate the hell out of that. That's dope as hell. If you're having a good Friday, hope you're having a good weekend also. Got to peep on Dan every once in a while, see what he's doing there. Put it in chat. Oh, Joanne, if you put anything in chat, it's not going to come through. Send anything you're trying to send me to publiclybuzzed@gmail.com, or follow me on Twitter, send it to me in a private message, or send it to me through straight up just a link. Facebook, you can message on there. Email is probably the best. Publiclybuzzed@gmail.com. And yeah, I don't even know if I can change that. Do you know that, Dago, if you can change to where you can like allow anybody to post links?
I think you have to be a moderator at the very least.
Gotta be a mod.
Yeah, I tried to do it one day too, and it didn't work.
I guess that makes sense. That could get a little chaotic quick.
Yeah, I think everybody be dropping stuff left and right in your chat. So yeah.
Oh, Joanne knows about Murder Church. Mandy, you did miss church last Sunday. You didn't come through. You didn't get the hangout. We missed you.
Have a great night, Miss Dara. I hope you get have a wonderful sleep.
Dara, thank you so much for coming through here. You're absolutely amazing. Happy birthday. And yeah, you have to go to actual church instead of Murder Church, and I understand that.
I just watched a short video on moving houses and it blew my fucking mind. Holy shit.
You could.
That's insane. Like they moved houses. I mean, they moved buildings that are like twice the size of my house. Like, holy fucking shit.
Oh, Kaylin, thank you for popping back in here. Dara, you could watch Murder Church during real church if you're sneaky enough. I don't promote that, but
it's probably not the best way to do it. Yeah.
You could.
Put some
AirPods. No, I'm just joking.
Some AirPods
so
in and
hanging in here. Joanne, do you have an email? Yes. Yeah, publicly. Yep, there it is, Sam. Thank you very much. I will check that.
Sam's been on it tonight. She's been hitting all the links. She's killing it.
She knows what's up.
Yeah, Sammy's great.
She knows.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, isn't it, Dan? How they do that? The way they
do it. I just watched a fucking short video and it blew my. I literally didn't think that it was possible, and now I've seen it happen, and my mind is blown. Holy shit!
We live in a crazy world, y'all. Like,
I guess I never really thought about it.
Kaylin is an MVP of Murder Church. She's rolling through every Sunday, y'all.
You would think that the house would fall apart when they lifted out the foundation.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah,
but it doesn't.
Dan, did you see my dank new graphic for Murder Church?
I did, and it is fucking sick, dude. You're so good at these.
Are you kidding me? Look at that one. I mean,
I'm so good at the thumbnails and the graphics.
Proud of. That one I'm fucking proud of, bro. That's like GIF, dog. Like, that looks dank. Like,
yeah,
that is sick. Who was it that deemed it Murder Church? Was that Jay?
Dude, I can't figure it out. I thought it was Mandy. She's not taking credit for it. I thought it was Jay. He's not taking credit for it.
No, Mandy's got Feral Friday.
She deemed Feral Friday. Sure. I don't remember. I don't know.
It was Jay.
No, I asked him.
It was Bob.
Is it Bob?
Whoever it was the night we had Bob on.
Maybe. I don't know who did it because I thought it was Jay too.
It was during a live though, for sure. It was during, because I was there. It was during a live when it happened.
Yeah, because I remember being like, "Oh, that's a cool name." Yeah.
Yep.
I do remember.
Might have been Bob.
All right, folks. So yeah, the next part here that we have on deck for you is an interview from 2014. Of course, he just died recently. What, he died in 2021, I believe. Ronald DeFeo. I think. Okay, and I'm just going to start it from this point right here. We're not going to watch this entire thing, but it's kind of interesting.
This is him doing an interview, his take on the whole thing, right?
Right. Have you seen this, Dago?
Yeah, I have seen this.
Wait, so he has passed away?
Yeah, he
Ronald
died
DeFeo,
recently.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't see that. Okay.
True story. Is it?
No. Thai Amityville itself is just a story. The whole thing. So.
Back up just slightly.
Start with the Amityville Horror. Jay Anson's book says.
Is there any way you could
front
turn it up a
cover,
hair as well?
A true
I
story.
think it's as loud as it goes.
That actually may be my side. Yeah, I've got it turned down. My bad.
Amityville itself is just a story. The whole thing. It's a hoax to make money.
A hoax to make money. Now, that hoax to make money, how did that come to be? Was that entirely William Weber's idea? Was he the one that came up with this ploy?
The Lutzes called up Weber.
Okay.
Because the Weber had spoke to a lot of people that weren't going to testify because they didn't want no part of this, and what Weber wanted them to do and say, they just weren't going to do it. I mean, you know, we were all wild.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us were serious and wild, but there was no insanity or none of that. There was nothing.
Now you're referencing, so at what point, how far were you into the trial, or maybe from the beginning, did Weber propose this insanity defense? Was that pretty much from the beginning, or did that become like
it was
a
right
last
from the
ditch?
beginning.
From ghoulies and ghosties.
Okay.
And
So then
long-legged
that's when he
beasties.
tried to coerce people
and
like
things
Frank Davidge
that go
to say
bump.
that you fired at him with your hunting
Barry
rifle.
Springer.
Right, okay. So that was from the beginning. Now, would you say that was Weber a good defense attorney?
Weber did not know what he was doing. That's why this whole thing was a joke.
Okay.
See, Herman Race, the investigator, who should have never got involved with this, he was Mike Brigandy, one of his goombas. He should have never got involved with this. He said, I got a psychiatrist. He'll tell him what to say, what he wants to hear from him. All you got to do is pay him. It was Daniel Schwartz.
Right.
$8,000. That was a lot of money for a psychiatrist back then. I mean, money was just going hands over fist, and this is all supposed to be court appointed. I mean, how can that be?
Right. So it was actually Herman Race that sort of orchestrated this whole thing, and then he got in bed with Bill Weber to write a book. Is that how that went down?
No, Weber and the Lutzes started this whole thing. Now, let me tell you a little something about the Lutzes. All this can be verified. There's an inmate that just left here that was in the car with me. You know, I can afford to get high and use dope. And I liked it, and I did what I had to do. Same with the Lutzes. I used to take the Lutzes in with me to Manhattan, the car. You know, they were quarters of heroin. She didn't want heroin. She wanted the cocaine. So I used to have to stop on at Willis Avenue in the Bronx on the way back.
You're talking about Kathy Lutz.
Yeah, and they got some imagination, I'll tell you that.
So the Lutzes, so the rumors through the years that the Lutzes knew you or knew your family before they ever saw the house.
So, you know, you can't take everything this man says as factual. You know, he says the thing about the sister, right?
Right.
What is your take on him knowing the Lutzes before and doing drugs with them?
Me personally, I think it's bullshit.
Okay.
It's all part of the story, the whole thing that was created, in my opinion, from what I've read. And Ronald DeFeo is, in my opinion, he is insane. I'm sorry. I mean, you gotta, you know, I think he had done some bad drugs in his life, and it's been proven that if you do certain drugs,
that's my take. I think it was drug related for sure.
Right. They will definitely destroy your mind. So
He seems like, I mean, even the way he speaks, you can kind of get that vibe. But yeah, when I was
very slow, like he has a disability almost. It sounds like.
Well, I mean, you gotta remember back then, like LSD was big and PCP and stuff like that, and they were my dad told me, you know, he's right around the same age, and he that Ronnie would be now. And he said, you know, that it was hardcore. They were doing stuff like that, like nothing, guys, you know, and it was, so I agree. You know, I really agree.
Yeah, when I was kind of diving in this today, though, I got to that part. Now, you know, I thought it was interesting. Though I was like, "Holy shit!" I started it's in that today, and I was like, "Holy shit!" You know, these people knew each other. But you know, once I got to actually the last thing I have to actually show here, and we can go in whatever direction you fellas want to go in. But hold on, was this right here?
I mean,
him talking about basically. Oh, sorry, I don't have the internet up. Him talking about this is an article from 1992, but him saying that the sister is the actual person that did the murders. He killed the sister. He's basically, he wants to save his own ass, right? So
I think he first claimed this. The first time he mentioned that was in '88, I believe.
You might be right. You might be right.
But he confessed back in
74.
What, 74.
Right.
He confessed, and then in '88, you know, 12 years later, started coming up with this story, and he maintained that up until his death. He was still trying to get out of prison.
Part of the story was that at some point they said that he was coerced, that the confession was coerced because
which happens.
You know how cops were in the 70s and stuff like that. You know, two guys go into a room with him and beat the shit out of him in the room and didn't tell him, you did this, didn't you, Ronnie? You did this. And eventually, yeah, I did this. You know what I mean? Not to mention the drugs, the alcohol that he was on. You know, obviously you had to be on something to do what you did. That's just not something you do every day. You know what I'm saying? So, and his father, don't forget, his father Ronnie Sr. he was an asshole. I'll be honest, you know, nothing against the dead, not to speak ill of the dead, but he was abusive to the whole family. And I think between that and the drugs, it just kind of triggered him. And that's where this all went from. So,
and when you look at the evidence in the case and stuff, like his story doesn't make sense.
No.
Like, imagine if the sister killed everybody and then he killed the sister. Why was the sister also laid the same way as everybody else?
Exactly.
Right? Like that, it just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. Like I would have never believed that for a second. He's just trying to save his life. He's trying to get out of prison.
I always thought it was a really bad trip that he went on, and that's what happened, you know, and that's why they were laid out that way specifically, and that's why, you know, I mean, there's even another story, I don't know if you guys read it, about a mafia hit too, so, you know.
Stevie found an interesting tidbit earlier that I didn't know about, where the Lutzes actually knew Butch and did drugs with him. Is that right? Is that what you were saying earlier?
Yeah, that's what he was saying a little bit ago. Yeah.
Oh, you said that on. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was asking Dago basically if he thought that was true, and he didn't think so. He thinks he's full of shit, just like with the sister story.
I don't know if that was when I was gone, or if I was looking.
You were looking at something.
Oh yeah, I was looking at
But you know, real quick, Joanne was trying to send me something, and it is pretty cool. She sent me a never. I'm just going to read the YouTube title. Never before released for free viewing since 1997. Ed and Lorraine Warren Amityville Show Part 1.
Oh, okay.
So that actually sounds fucking cool.
In the night.
Oh yeah.
Good Lord, deliver us.
Again,
I came across this earlier.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
Okay.
I
was going to say, Joanne, thank you so much for sending this. Anybody that wants to send me anything, publiclybuzzed@gmail.com. That's probably the best way. That or Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time. But yeah, send it out.
Yeah, I found this when I was looking for footage of the Warrens, and I wanted something much earlier than this because this was from the 90s or something, I believe, right?
Yeah, they seem a little bit older.
I think it was the 80s.
Is this the 80s?
Yeah, I believe it was in the 80s.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Seekers of the Super.
Oh, I even remember the static.
I think I was about to say, because anybody that knows this show, they might get confused, but I think the static is in the video.
It is, yeah, because I watched it.
I'm your moderator, Tony Sparrow.
We don't have to watch all this either. We can. I
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Of it, though.
Tonight's program will be an exciting one, and it will include ghosties.
The static. Oh,
and
no, that is pretty brutal. But if the static starts to kill anyone in the chat, please let me know, and we'll nix it.
And things that go bump in the night.
Thank you, Joanne. Though seriously, that was awesome.
Tonight we're going to be speaking about one of the most horrific cases that the Warrens have ever investigated, the Amityville Horror.
Now, this is actually literally kind of. I mean, this is cool though, because this is with what we were talking about. I couldn't find anything but the Conjuring thing.
Now, Ed, can you tell me how you and Lorraine got involved in the Amityville Horror?
Well, it was Marvin Scott from Channel 5 news team.
Static stop. That's awesome. These people, he stopped the static. He realized today.
Lorraine stopped it. She's the clairvoyant.
Excuse me. She stopped it. She realized today on June 17th, 2023 that we'd be watching this and we would need some clarity. She's taking care of you, Chad.
From the grave.
He was the anchor man at the time.
It's badass.
And he had been involved with a haunting that we had investigated in
concentrating. That's what
Bloomfield,
she's
New
concentrating
Jersey.
all of her energy
And he was impressed by this. So he gave us a ring and he said, we'd like you to come down and see what's going on in Amityville, Long Island. Now, this was not the Amityville Horror case at that time, you understand. This was just another haunted house, and we didn't even realize that 6 people had been murdered in that house, the DeFeo family. So we said, sure, we'd come down there, and we did. And that was the beginning of an adventure which we'll never forget, a supernatural adventure.
A very
When we went
lucrative
into the
adventure.
house that day, we didn't realize that it was diabolically infested. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to say that Amityville was a 10. I want to make it clear at the beginning of this program that Lorraine and I do not back up the movie or the book. It was much more horrific than either. You didn't have to take a literary license in a book or dramatic license in a movie. This case had everything. It had the monstrosities of the night which roamed that house, which infested it, which caused a young man to murder his whole family. Ronald DeFeo is now serving 6 consecutive life sentences at Dannemora Prison. But you know, Amityville Horror goes way back before the Lutz family, who moved in there and bought the house later, and fled 28 days later. It goes back 6 months before the DeFeos were murdered. Mr. DeFeo went up to Montreal, Canada. He went to a shrine where many miracles had occurred. A lot of people don't know this. He went to that shrine and he brought back from there a priest, an exorcist, who said masses in the house. Why? If this was a hoax that was created by the Lutz family, why 6 months before this man was murdered and his family was an exorcist in that house? While the priest was saying a mass and performed the exorcism rituals, candles were blowing out, doors were opening and closing. There were footsteps all around the house. Ronald DeFeo, who was the murderer of his family, fled the house. He didn't stay there. He did not want to stay there while the priest was in that house. What caused him to leave? Obsession? Possession? Who can say? We do know that this young man did murder every member of his family in that house, shot them to death. On November 13th, 1974, at 3:15 in the morning, he had a high-powered rifle. Now, when you see the photographs later, and these are the only pictures ever taken inside the Amityville Horror House, because Lorraine and I and just a handful of other investigators actually went in there. I've heard people on TV say, I was in that house, I was in that house, I investigated. They never were. They don't have any evidence, they have no proof. We have the proof, and you'll see that proof tonight. They will see the only photographs ever taken in the house itself at the time of the investigation, and as the Lutzes left that home, completely furnished, they didn't take one thing with them. They left everything there, and they went off to California, because Father Pecoraro, who many people said did not exist, talked with Lorraine and I. He told us all the horrible things that happened to him. We sat with him, he was as close as I am to you, Tony, at dinner at Kathy Lutz's mother's home in Deer Park. He told me things that the public has never heard about. And tonight, we are going to endeavor to explain what really happened in that home.
Okay, Lorraine, I know you went in the house and you experienced things, but can we just go over how you first were called into the house? Like, who was the gentleman or people that called you in? Was it the Lutzes that called you in?
No, it was not, Tony. It was Marvin Scott who called us in. He told us there had been a tragedy in that home. He didn't go into detail regarding it. He told us that it was a prominent family. He also told us during that very first conversation that the family that were living there at the present time had fled and left all of their possessions behind. And their viewers were very interested in the history of that house and what exactly might be wrong with the home. That's how we first became involved. Now, I had to tell Marvin Scott at that time that there was no way that we could go in that home without an invitation and permission from the family, which came very readily. But realize, when we met with George Lutz, not Kathy, because Kathy and the children were not there. When we met with George, he wouldn't go anywhere near the house. He met us at a pizza parlor and sat with us and talked because he was so frightened.
Well, I understand that George wasn't really he was a no-nonsense kind of a guy,
He was
right?
really a no-nonsense man,
George Lutz was an ex-Marine. He was a karate expert. He ran around with motorcycle gangs. We're not talking about any altar boy here. We're talking about a rough, tough guy who, after 28 days in that house, fled, left everything behind, took his wife and children, and went off to California.
See, he was the type of person, Tony, that felt like he had to always be in control. He would go out on the landings. It was 3 stories high. The home is very beautiful. The interior of the home is very formal and it's very beautiful. And he would go out and he would take his fist and he would tell what was there, or command what was there to come out so he could fight it. Because as far as he was concerned, he was very skeptical regarding the fact that anything paranormal was going on. At the time that this first began, he found it difficult because of his background to even believe in a God, never mind believe that something of this nature was taking place. But I have to say this, the Amityville case affected our personal lives more than any case we ever worked on.
Really?
It was, yes.
How? In what way?
Well,
Made you richer.
it was to follow us home the very first day. The very first night that Ed and I went to that home, it was the middle of the night when we came home. And I had contacted many priests. I was fearful, but Tony, I didn't know what I was fearful of. I mean, it was just another case. It wasn't the Amityville Horror. So I really didn't know what I was so fearful of. But on the other hand, I took with me a relic of a very pious...
Like, you know, so we know again, probably the most popular thing is the Conjuring thing. We know what these people are about. What's your take on them, Dan? Like the Warrens, just in general.
Fake.
It's like the no nonsense bullshit thing.
This Nat is still here.
Interesting.
Yeah, no.
To that point, I'm interested to see what Dago says, being from the paranormal world.
Yeah, I can sum it up in a single word. I think they're fake. Go ahead, Dago.
The Warrens themselves or their situations?
Good question. Or, yeah, okay. So you think the Warrens were also bullshit?
I don't think they're bullshit, per se. I think Ed and Lorraine Warren are exactly what they say they are. I think some of their situations have been bullshit. I think they've been exaggerated.
But they went with it, and they
of course.
So as paranormal investigators, you don't think they would, when they find out there's actually nothing to it, they're still going to kind of promote that there is.
They gotta make something happen because they're getting paid.
But where's the trust? How do you trust somebody like that?
Listen, guys, let me use an example. Okay, the Idaho case, for instance, okay? Take everything we've looked at with this case, and we've seen multiple different channels cover multiple different versions of this case, multiple theories, this, that, and everything else. And we've seen some very outlandish things coming out of that case, right or wrong, okay? And then we've also got people that are just super grounded with this case, and it is what it is to them, and that's all it is, cut and dry. So if you take that situation and put it into this scenario here, same thing. These two go in, they talk to the people every time. I've done the same thing. I mean, I haven't made things up, but I've been in paranormal situations in people's homes and done investigations. Okay, my wife and I both, and people's mind, your mind, and it will do whatever you want it to do if you want it to do that. Okay. And when you have these type of people, I'm not saying they were bad people. I'm not saying that they were fake people. I'm saying that they took advantage of situations in a sense and made them work in their favor, for lack of better terms. Okay. Because somebody was seeing something in these houses. Somebody was feeling something in these houses. So there's a term for it that I can't think of right now, but Ed would interview one person, Lorraine would interview another person, then they would talk about the scenario, and they knew how to play off of what was going on in the house, in my opinion. That's how that worked out, because it seems like too many things were going on. Too many things too often. They had that whole museum in their house of all these relics per se. I mean, why in the hell? let me ask you a question. Why in the hell, if these things were the Annabelle doll, okay, which is a real doll based on a real story?
I've watched some of that stuff.
Why would you keep that in a home that you have with your child if it's that bad?
Yeah,
good question.
Well, I mean the case that got them famous is the Amityville case, and we know it's fake. Like they have no credibility, in my opinion. Zero credibility.
The DeFeo side of this was just pure, it was murder. It was proven that there was no demons involved, this, that, and everything else. It was a bad acid trip. He flipped out and he murdered his family. There's that. Okay. And then the Lutz family took advantage of that situation and played off of that. And in turn, they tried to get the best book deal they could get, or movie, and get paid. That's what it was all about.
Yep.
I'm not saying that I love the Lorraines. I love the Lorraines. Don't get me wrong, but they're not fake. They are what they say they are, because every situation they've applied themselves to fits with what they're doing.
Do you not think that knowing the Amityville story is fake kind of ruins their credibility for everything that came after?
For some people, yeah, but for the people that believe, no. And that's what it's all about. There's people that believe and people that don't believe. The people that believe, it happened. Period. Tell them that it didn't. You can't, because to them it happened.
All right.
For the people that don't believe, okay, it didn't happen. So it is what it is. Like I said, guys, the group that I started, okay, I went in as a skeptic. Me and my wife started it with two other people. I was a skeptic. My wife is what you call a sensitive, per se, clairvoyant, whatever the hell you want to call it. The two of our friends, there's a skeptic there, and there's another person that's a sensitive. So be it. They see and feel things that me and him don't. And we use logic and science to explain something. They truly believe that. We don't. That's how it works.
I think that's the job of the paranormal investigator, is to determine whether something's there or not, right? And if something's not there, they should say something's not there. They shouldn't go along with a fake story.
That's exactly what it is, and that's what I do. It's magnetic energy. It's you got some kind of an old style furnace or something that's making these noises. You debunk it. It's done. That's what it was. Well, people don't like to believe that, because in their mind, it's more exciting and more enthralling for that to be what it was in their mind. So that's what they want it to be.
Yeah. And it's easy for your mind to run away with you in these types of situations. And honestly, to Dan's point, though, I mean, I like this stuff because, like, I look at it from a skeptic point of view, but like I can get lost in it, but at the same time, not fully like just become mindless in it. I don't know what's the best way to say it. Like, I fully love it. I enjoy it. But like, you
want to believe it.
Exactly. But I can't. I've never been taken. So my point, what I'm getting at here with the Warrens here, back to Dan's, is like, if you start out on bad footing with, something's bullshit like this, that sucks, because, but at the same time, I've seen some of the Conjuring stuff, and that stuff's a little bit more freaky, and there's tons of freaky stuff out there. I'm not saying that. And I don't, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I've never personally had anything. And like I was saying earlier, I did have some buddies that were, that did some paranormal stuff. I went to this super old church It was creepy. There was a graveyard at the church. You know, they were doing the whole deal. Like they had the meters, all that going. I didn't feel anything, but they were all invested. I mean, they had moments. They had they seen shit. They were all in on this shit. And I'm like, I never could get there. And I feel like a lot of it was them honestly trying to convince me that it was there the whole time. And I had to be like, listen, guys, I'm not that easily swayed.
I went to a very famous haunted site or paranormal site with the two friends, and we were all skeptics. None of us like really believed in that stuff.
Right.
And I mean, we walked around this place. I mean, this is a super famous, like it's on every top 10 list of paranormal. And we had free reign of the place because it's an outdoor park. I don't know if I should say what it is because it gives away my location a little bit. But it's very famous, and it's just a place you can just go to. You can just walk in, you can sneak in, and
it's in an old amusement park.
Yeah, not taking an official tour. Like you can literally just walk there and go there and have free reign. And anyway, we went there. We spent a good while there and nothing. I mean, nobody felt anything. Nobody saw anything. Nothing weird happened, which I can understand too. You know, it may not happen every single time to every single person.
That's true, right?
Don't get me wrong, by the way, guys. There's things that I cannot explain that I've experienced. I promise you that, okay? There's really no answer to it. I'm telling you, I've tried. That is where the difference comes in. You know, I'm not saying that everything that was experienced by them was faked, okay? I'm saying that there's a limitation to some of these things. There really is, like the movie and the story, The Entity. You know what that one's about?
Not right off.
Okay. That one is a little bit more, like that woman was sexually assaulted by a ghost for years. Still to this day, from what I understand. It's like that. They're nowhere near as bad. And there's no explanation of it. She's got bruising and markings all over her body, and she's by herself. What you explained that to me. She was videoed and filmed being thrown all over the house. Explain that to me. That's not magnethermic energy. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. So there's something, and there are things out there, in my opinion, that there's no way to explain it. None at all.
So
not logical.
So there's a video of this woman being thrown across the room?
Yes, there has been.
And it's legitimate footage. 100% legitimate.
Absolutely. There's lighting. There's a whole book about this dude. And when I was younger, like probably 14 or 15, I think I was, I watched this movie and I'm like, what the hell? And it's like, yeah, it's real. This woman had handprints, literal handprints that appeared in front of other people's eyes as she's being assaulted by this thing. You could see the indentation pushing her down into the bed. You can't do that to yourself. It's just not possible. There's nobody else there to do it.
So the issue I've always had is like whenever there's like video footage of these things happening, or you know, some sort of evidence that the outsiders can look at, it's always debunked.
I've seen people try.
Gina's got the comment of the whole fucking show right now. Ricky, we know you live in West Virginia in a house that's sinking with a tombstone out in front and an old slaughterhouse that is possessed with a poltergeist.
Yeah, she knows the whole goddamn history of the home.
Yes.
Which we have talked about it several times.
Oh, shit, boys. I got to take a piss. I'll be right back. Y'all keep going. I'm sorry.
Gina fucking kills it. She always talks
She's
shit.
fucking hilarious.
She's always there. Jules even
Her
said,
and Andy are comedians. I'm fucking convinced.
Oh, for sure, dude. They're great.
I love it when they're in the chat together over in my stream. I love it. Yeah, but Jules had a comment that was just up there that she said her grandmother experienced the same thing that the woman from The Entity went through. Like
That's it. My grandmother was too. She would wake up sore with bruises. People would hear her yelling and screaming. My mom would walk in and see her fighting something off, but never saw anything.
Right, and you can visually, like in The Entity, for instance, the videoing, the witnesses, her children witnessed these things. Like you could physically see her body being contorted in a way that somebody else has to be doing that to you. You can't do it yourself. And you can see indentations. Like if you push your hands, like on, not to be gross, guys, I'm sorry, ladies, excuse this, but like if you were to squeeze a woman's breast how the fingerprints would you see that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You could see on this woman, you could see the finger indentations on that happening to her.
Well,
and it was like, wow,
I guess, Dago, my question is, have you ever like researched if it's ever been if that video footage has ever been debunked? Have you ever like deep dive to see if somebody's debunked that footage? Because I would actually like to see this footage. If it's real and nobody can debunk it, nobody has any explanation for it, I kind of want to see it.
I haven't personally done it. I've watched videos of other people that's done it and read stories of other people, mostly read stories of other people that's done it. I don't know if anybody, it seems that people in chat know about it.
Because the thing is, it's super rare for these videos to not be debunked. That's what I'm getting at, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I said that's something that caught my attention, and it was very like wow factor to me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a believer like that. I'm a show me guy. Like I have to see something.
Me too.
In my face, hands-on, for me to believe that that's a real thing. I've always been that way, which is why I was a skeptic on everything. But when I watched that movie, I'm like, okay, so it's a movie. Great. You know, you can do anything you want in a movie. I read the book. Everything in the book related to the movie, and then there was video footage of it, like pictures of things, this and that. The children of the woman that had no idea what the hell that stuff would have been about saw these things and heard and it's like, holy shit, like this is real, you know, and it's so hard to believe. It's so hard to make me, like, in my mind for me to go, okay, how? There's nothing there. There's nothing there that's doing this to this woman, but there's something there.
But so this one you were full on, like you actually, like this is legit to you.
I feel that this is real. I do. This one that I absolutely feel is real. Go watch it.
Can you give me some keywords or something? Because I'm curious. I want to watch it myself.
It's just called The Entity. You type it in.
That's the movie, right?
Yeah, the book is called the same thing. Yeah.
So hang on. So the movie.
Footage,
so the movie has the real footage. Is that what you're saying?
No, the movie is the movie, but there are videos I saw a long time back. I think I covered the show or the movie in my Midnight series, and I had some footage that I showed. I can't remember.
Are the names used in the movie the real names of the?
I'm trying to find it right now.
Doris Bither is her name.
Doris
Say that again.
Bither.
Doris Bither. Yeah, it's on the chat actually.
From 1974.
Yes.
I'm trying to see if I can find like some footage. Disturbing film.
That's what I'm most interested in right now. Is that fucking footage?
That sounds crazy.
Because I mean, here's like I love talking about paranormal and stuff like that. I mean, that's why we do this channel. We do. I mean, we do true crime, obviously. We talk about paranormal, and dude, I like my favorite stuff. And you guys kind of like, if you've seen these shows, you kind of know that I delve into the realistic side of things, and even like when we do Feral Fridays, I kind of want to. I like talk about scientific experiments and like fucking quantum physics and shit like that, because it's like that's the crazy shit that I'm into. But like, so these things, the reason I'm so
Static Dan,
skeptical.
let me fix Static Dan. All right.
Static Dan shirt available on PubliclyBuzzed.com. The reason I'm so skeptical about these the paranormal side of things is because, and even aliens too, man. I mean, aliens can be a little iffy, but the paranormal, the ghost stuff is almost 100% debunked. Like almost every fucking thing gets debunked, and it's explained away in some way. And there may be some fringe things out there that aren't like easily explained, or they aren't debunked. And I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I know they're out there. I know they exist. But
always, that's my thought. There's always got to be a scientific explanation to something, whether it's based on energy levels.
And there almost always is, right?
Almost everything I've ever experienced, there have been a few. Like I said, the thing that happened with my wife, the story I was telling you guys with the cupboard door.
You experienced that yourself, and that's fucking insane. Yeah.
That is what made me go, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like something's not right here. And
that's what I need. I think I need you know what I mean? It has to be something. Yeah.
This is what has to happen, folks. And that's what I'm saying. I had to have that personal experience to be able to even go, okay, maybe. You know what I mean? Because before that, I'm like, yeah, whatever. It is whatever.
You
you're
were a
lying.
complete non-believer. Yeah.
100% until that
full
happened.
skeptic, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I've had other experiences. I've had, you know, the scenario at the Moundsville.
Well, and you put yourself into situations where, as a, you know, you like you said, you've been a paranormal investigator, so you're putting yourself into situations where you would have a paranormal experience. So
yes, and I know
you
and
probably had more than the average person anyway.
Absolutely, and I've also told myself, okay, all right, we're in this situation right now. Of course, you're going to start thinking something because that's where your mind's going. And a lot of people, their minds want to believe that thing. So therefore, it does happen. It happened. It's more prominent in that sense because you want to feel that way.
And that's what Stevie touched on earlier, where he said he was with some paranormal investigators and they wanted to happen.
That's what it
Stevie
felt
was
like.
the skeptic and he didn't feel anything. And then,
right.
you know, me and my buddies went to a famous paranormal site. Didn't feel, because all of us were skeptics. None of us felt anything. I mean, if you can literally manifest it yourself just by wanting it to happen, right?
And that's all it is, guys. It really does happen. I mean, I've been in rooms where there's me and my wife and 4 other people in the group, and they're all over the place. Like, oh my God, did you see that? Did you feel?
Right.
Something touched
Which
me.
is, I would fucking zip out of there instantly. I'd be like, I'm done. I can't deal with
They
you
get
guys.
inside
Like,
of
this
their,
is
they get inside of
ridiculous.
their heads, and then that's almost contagious. Is what the problem is.
No, that's
It's
the thing.
literally contagious.
I'm too confrontational to do that. Like I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, Dan's my
you guys
favorite.
are ridiculous. I'll get the fuck out of here. But I mean, walking downstairs and seeing a bunch of cabinets and drawers open,
yeah,
that's insane. That's
like
way
I
different.
have to see it myself. Like
There was no doubt in my mind it happened, and that
I'm
house
an agnostic on paranormal.
right. Most that more than one situation had another situation. I'll tell you that happened in that same house. My wife and I were alone again. Our kids were not there. She was doing laundry. She walked down in the basement to do laundry. That was when I was still reading the newspaper. We didn't really have computers like that then. And I left to go down to the corner to buy a newspaper. I walked out of the house, got in my car, drove out of the driveway, and left. I went down to the corner. She's in the basement doing laundry and says she hears me calling her name. My voice calling her name. Oh, okay, well, whatever. So I come walking back in the house after I got the newspaper. She comes up the basement stairs and meets me in the kitchen as I'm coming through the back door and says, "Why the hell didn't you answer me?" And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? You didn't call me. You know what I mean? She goes, "I answered you 3 times. I said, what, Joe? What, Joe? What, Joe? And you can't respond to me. You call me like that. And then you're not going to." I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? She says that she heard me call her 3 times from the kitchen saying her name, Brandy, like that, you know? I said, Brandy, I wasn't home. She watched me walking in the door as I was meeting her there, and with the newspaper in my hand that I didn't have before she went to the basement. She goes, what did you? I said, I went to the store to get a paper, duh. Here it is, you know? So that happened in that same house too. So she heard, and there was no buildup for that. There was no anything that led to that. It just happened.
Yeah.
So again, something else I couldn't explain.
And sorry.
No, I was just going to say there's no logical answer or explanation to that. There was nobody else in the house. There was nobody else around. There's no TVs on, no radios on, nothing. I wasn't there. It was her. She heard me call her, and I wasn't there.
Chat's like, fuck you, Dan.
Yeah, and I want to make it clear to Dago and chat that I truly do believe that there are paranormal.
I believe there's
things
some
that
weird
happen.
ass shit happening too, bro.
But I'm super skeptical about like 99% of the stories that come out.
First of all, David James just became a Buzzed and Confused level member here at PubliclyBuzzed. Thank you very much, sir.
David
James, my brother from down under.
Appreciate that, David. Thank you so much, sir.
Drinks
It's
on you,
amazing.
brother.
Boom. Thank you much. I'm the same way though. I want to believe, and I'll put myself into a position to believe.
I do believe.
Yeah. Well, I think I would go in the route of an agnostic on it. I really think that. Like, I'm not sure. I think that there's something, but I'm not fucking sure. I don't know what it is. But there feels like there's okay. You know, Dan was touching on how he likes to go down scientific avenues. Some of this more spacey stuff. Some of the stuff that you can actually more prove and is tangible.
Yes.
Well, at the same exact time, like, the paranormal element of it, I think it's sort of like weirdly okay. I mean, I don't want to get into some like deep shit, but like psychedelics, man, there is something that can be unleashed, and it's not even that. Like yoga, there's the brain, the human brain can be tapped into in certain levels or areas. Meditating, yeah, meditating's better than the word yoga. That's what I really meant. Yeah, like you can tap into levels of your fucking brain that you didn't know you could before. We use 10% of our fucking
opening
brain.
the third eye.
We don't know shit about it, dude. I think
Yeah.
that there is something else out there. I think that there's something else we don't even see. But at the same time, dude, I think that there's so much fucking bullshit that fills the air.
That's the problem.
With both bullshit artists that fucks everything up. That's what sucks is you got to dig through the fucking bullshit to get the reality. That's what I hate, man.
The problem is
it fucks everything up.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, let me go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I was gonna say, let me blow your mind a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
Part of doing. Go ahead, Dan, and now I'll say what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna. I had a quick thing. It was you have to sift so much through so much bullshit to get to anything that's really like true, right? That's the issue. It's flooded with garbage.
Right.
That's the problem with it. And if it wasn't flooded with garbage, it would be way more respectable. It'd be way more reputable. People would believe it more if there wasn't so much garbage to go through, because people just make shit up. Anyway, that's all I want to say.
Because they want it to be, but part of taking the courses and becoming a paranormal investigator is there's a lot of psychological aspects to it, okay? And you got to read all these different variations of basically everything about becoming a paranormal investigator is the opposite of what you would think it is. It tells you the scientific aspects of everything, you know, the logical debunking ways to do this. So one of the biggest things that I've always been involved with that mesmerized me with it, and I've always thought about it deeply, okay, is like the consciousness levels involved in this. Like you said, opening the third eye and doing this and doing that, okay? And I, at some point, believe me, I have a high faith in God, things like that. At some point, I feel that I have to believe that there are different levels of consciousness in human beings, okay? As in, like, for instance, when people die, okay? Everybody says, you know, when you die, you go on to heaven or hell or whatever you want to call it, and you move forward. I read something one time and it really like opened my eyes to something. And it's kind of like, how can I explain this? People don't get this sometimes, but I see it as in a very big possible way that when you die, because people are talking about having past life experiences and different variations of things like that, you very possibly could move on to a different level of consciousness, a higher level. You've achieved a higher level of consciousness and opened your mind up to something that's way more extreme than anything we can understand at the level that we're at right now. See what I'm saying? And then that's 100%. What that actually is. That's the experience that people are having. And then it goes forward even more. And that's what that's all about, in my opinion, because then you're seeing things that we just can't see right now. We just can't understand right now at this level of consciousness that we have. So moving forward in that sense, it just kind of like opens that door into something that's so much more like above where we're at. That's the only way to explain it, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Actually, I have a take on that. So religious people have their faith in the afterlife, right?
Right.
So non-religious people, people who are not religious or agnostic or whatever they may be, they may believe in ghosts or a paranormal or a higher consciousness,
power.
Not a higher power, but they believe that consciousness moves on after death, right?
Yes.
So everybody believes in the same thing. Basically, it means that when you die, you don't die. You're
same thing, different meanings. Yes,
exactly. Your mind moves on. You move on. Your consciousness moves on.
We can't let it go, right?
And that because it's the scariest fucking thing on the planet. Death is the scariest. If there is an actual true end to everything that is you, that's the scariest fucking thing on the planet. So everybody wants to come up with something. Anybody who believes that there's nothing, which is I mean, that's been me before. Like I kind of lean towards, I think that our energy actually does pass on somewhere else. Like we actually do move on to a different plane of existence.
Energy can't die.
Because I want it to. I hope
it's
so much that's how it works, right?
Well, energy can't die. I mean, it's not alive or dead.
But is it still you? Is that energy still you, or what happens to that energy, right?
I think it's a different form. It takes a different form in that sense. You know what I'm saying? You move from this form that we are right now, and you graduate to a higher level of something, which, if you think about it, that could explain aliens in a sense too. And it just can keep moving forward in a mechanical fashion like that. It's just
but think about like when you like really fall asleep and you really are out and you dream and you really have a really good night's rest. You don't know anything, and it happens like that. And
not even external drugs that you take, but your internal drugs that
the dopamine released
that happens in your body. They send you on adventures.
Die.
They send you on exactly.
I really think you probably go into like this perpetual dream state that is endless to you, because a real dream when you're sleeping is endless to you until you have to wake up, right? But when you die, you never wake up. You're in this dream probably forever. I mean, like when you're before we're born, we're nothingness. Like we don't have any memories before that. Like we could also go into like past life stuff too from there. That'd be a good branch off point.
And I think that fucking exists, dude. I really do think past life shit exists. I've seen shit, and I guess I haven't dove into it to see if it was been debunked. But dude, there's been fucking kids that like literally remembered lives that they
shit's
shouldn't
trippy
know.
as shit. Real quick though, while it's on my head and I don't lose it. One of the trippiest things to me that does happen in real life is deja vu. And it's not even deja vu. It's that I feel like when it happens to me, and it's not like the little ones, it's the ones that go on for prolonged periods of time.
Yeah.
I feel like I've dreamed them before. I feel like I've dreamed in my future. Like say I'm sitting at the office, I'm 35 years old. I've dreamed that when I was 24, that I'd be sitting right here at this exact moment doing this exact thing. That's happened throughout my whole life. Endlessly. Yep. This house I'm sitting in, this show I'm doing right now,
exactly,
I dreamed this years ago.
I just had one like a week ago.
Who else has that shit?
I had one a week ago on the fucking porch. I just bought this house 6 months ago and I had a deja vu on the porch. Like, when the fuck could I have possibly experienced this? Right? Like,
dude,
how is it possible? But it happens. It really happens.
That shit, that's you know what? The paranormal aspect, what I just said is the trippiest shit ever to me. And when it's happening in real time, dude, it's it really fucks with me. Like
we either
it's hard for me to
really
really
grasp.
grasp.
We're alive on deja vu.
Have you ever been sitting talking about something in that sense, and you're talking about it and remembering it at the same exact time?
Yep.
That has
everything. The deja vu, like
Dude,
every moment, even the words that are being said, even the words that the person responding to you is saying are part of it. But something eventually breaks it, and you know the break moment. Like you're like, that didn't happen before. That word didn't happen last time.
In the time periods is what freaks me out, because it's impossible for me to be sitting in this house 10 years ago, or to know that even be able to own a house 10 years ago would be impossible to me with the job I had, with the life that I had. Not possible. Like none of my life currently would be possible even 5 years ago. No, 5 years ago, but 10 years ago, definitely not possible. Like I dreamed, and not even just like house stuff, like, and it's the little things too, but those aren't as trippy. But it's really like you're sitting, and I'm going to really just use house and job because that's when it really happens and it really trips you out. This show, big life deal stuff, right? When it's when those things are happening, you're like, man, I dreamed this. Like,
oh yeah,
dude, it fucking freaks me out, dude. And that's happened my whole life, like ever since I was a little kid, man. Like,
that's why, like, I know you guys have heard where they say that we only use just a very small part of our brains, right? So what the hell is the rest of it doing? It's
hang on, debunked. Actually, Bob said that on his live with us. He said we only use 10% of our brain.
Right.
And the way Bob goes, I never could interrupt him, but that's not true. We use like every part of our brain.
Well,
see, I didn't think we used every part of our brain.
We do, yeah. That's not a true. That's a common misconception that's thrown around. Yeah.
I'm Googling.
Google it.
What I mean by it is that that's what I'm saying. It's said that we only use a certain percentage of our brain, and the rest of it is just kind of like a sleep, quote. But if you notice, like when people, a lot of it is because of the fear that we're raised with and the things that we're taught from childhood that are not normal or not acceptable, or that we have a fear of automatically. that's why if you notice, at least with me, it was when I used to be a hardcore weed smoker, guys, and I mean a lot, way lot, okay? And I would get so like intellectually different with that. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm smart, you know. I have a high intelligence level. I read a lot. I always have. It is what it is. I understand things.
I'm really
at different
stupid. I'm actually really dumb.
He's
I admit
he says that.
When I would get high, though, it was just like things would look completely different to me. I would go into a whole different realm of shit and understanding different things that didn't make sense when I wasn't high. It was so weird. And I was talking to a doctor one time, like, believe this or not. I asked him that question. I said, why does this happen? And he's like, because you're relaxed. You're not tense. You're not afraid. You're not worried about things that could happen. You're just chilled out. You're relaxed. And that's when you open up your mind to understanding things that we see every single day. You know what I mean? That we look at every single day, but we have a fear of realizing it. Basically, the way it was explained is a fear of realization. And when you smoke weed or you do something that takes something that relaxes you to the point where you don't have that fear, then it's so much easier understandable and so much more relative to you that it's just like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Because, you know, weed, you know, psychoactive as well, but mushrooms, LSD,
yes. All of that
those
stuff, right?
Those for sure. But yeah, no, that's, yeah, dude, that makes a lot of sense. Like,
and Stevie, you hate on yourself. You talk shit about yourself, or like you said, you're not very smart. Like, and you may have issues with like super technical things, but your creativity is out of control.
Yeah,
like your creativity is like on the next level.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's all, you know, it's like there's different areas, right? There's different departments. I don't know what the fuck word I need to use.
My son, for instance, my son is borderline. Oh shit! There goes me. Stupid moment. Borderline autistic. Okay, very high functioning. You can't tell by talking to him, by looking at him, anything. It's not there like that. Academically, he's horrible. He does not retain things that you should retain when you're going through school, right? If you hand this kid a music instrument, I don't care what you give to him, he will pick it up and play it in front of you without ever touching it.
He's a savant.
He's done it multiple times with guitars, the drums I taught him, but saxophone, trombone, trumpet, harmonica, piano, all of it.
He can just straight play it.
He just plays it. He'll play something. He was 10 years old and had a toy harmonica, little plastic harmonica. And me and my wife were sitting there having a few drinks, listening to the music. Piano Man by Billy Joel plays, right? Billy Joel plays. Sorry, not Joe. Billy Joel. It's playing, and he's standing there listening. He's like, what song is that, Dad? And we told him the song. He goes upstairs for about 15, 20 minutes, comes back down, and he played the damn song on the harmonica on his way up.
Wow.
Me and my wife just sat there like, what the hell just happened? And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's
gifted. That's sick.
There's different variations, like you said.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? I absolutely believe that. So, 100%. And he can sing like a bird too. That's another thing. I mean, there's people in here that have heard my son sing. He sings like a bird. It's insane. But have him do a math problem, forget it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it works. Like some people are born, maybe not born, but they take more interest in like the scientific side of things. Some people take more interest in the creative side of things.
Right.
And you develop from there. Like it really is. That's kind of how it works. And some people can do both. I mean, some people are so gifted they can do it all. I mean, that's a little more rare, right?
I agree. That's where I think artists come from and people like that just, there it is, you know?
What'd you find on the brain, Stevie?
Well, let's look in here. It says they think we use 90% of our brain.
There it is. So the opposite. the common misconception, we only use 10%, but we actually use 90%.
Actually, never mind. I'm sorry. No. On the contrary, even further down, they started it with saying, what a shock if we think of the 90% of our brain. I'll just show you what I'm looking at, I reckon. But down here, on the contrary, and it's all highlighted. All existing data shows that we use 100% of our brains.
100%.
Where does this myth come from? Today, it is difficult to determine from whom this myth stemmed, Bob, and how it could have spread so widely. However, it can be traced back to the late 19th century in advertisements and brochures for self-help. Not to mention, Albert Einstein once said to a journalist that he only used 10% of his brain. They're like, oh, shit!
What was it? Albert Einstein said what?
Once Albert Einstein said to a journalist, I only use 10% of my brain. And he's probably joking. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, of course he was joking. As an
Fucking
answer to a question concerning his intelligence.
That's why he couldn't come there.
With no brain scientist has ever spoken about 10% researchers still
Dude, I
contributing.
bet he was being
I
fucking
mean,
sarcastic, and whoever the fuck he
They
was
ran
talking
away with
to
it.
didn't pick up on it, and they just fucking ran with that shit like it was fact for everybody on the planet.
They ran away with it.
Jesus. No, I mean, this is how this shit happens. Like, you really do have to look up so many. You have to fucking do research on every goddamn thing.
Yeah, you do.
Misinformation is rampant everywhere,
Hey,
in every industry,
Jessica
in every
Christie,
topic.
I'm sure Bob will stand by his point. We need Bob back on here to debate this.
Our lives are built on rumors, guys. I mean, if you think about
Everything,
we
yeah.
live everything.
So much.
How many facts, things that are put down as facts, do you think were based on rumors? Truthfully, like over the period. of
David
life?
James coming through. People should focus on helping their fellow man and being better humans, man. That's what we should fucking be doing.
I'll drink to that, and I need a new one.
That is David for you right there.
I'll be right back.
Hey, man, brother.
Yes, sir, brother. That's what we should be fucking doing. Out here killing each other and maiming each other in the fucking streets. We got true crime channels all day long. All I do on Twitter is talk about fucking murder and people killing themselves because that's all we deal with. I will say, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll get a little bit of a break with random cute dog pictures and videos. So, you know, there is that. But in the midst of all that shit, it's bullshit, man. It sucks. It really does suck. But there's also really good people out there, dude. It's community in general, right? How many fucking people do you meet every single day, Dago, that's dope and awesome?
Everybody in my damn community, the whole community is like that. And
dude.
It's amazing. I say this all the time. Like, how is it I mean, I started the community that way on purpose. I wanted to have that type of a community, right? How is it possible to, well, I mean, I know how it is now, but they're magnetized to each other because they are all good people. And that's why they're all in this community together. You know what I'm saying? It just happens that way.
Yeah,
and the
man.
people that are not those types of people don't like it in there.
They don't last. That's right, dude.
right.
I've seen them, and I know you've been even doing it longer than I have, but during the time that I've been doing it, I've seen them come and go. And the ones that are true blue people that are really like, I mean, they're real, dude. Like, I don't even know how else to say it. They're fucking actual people. There's so many fucking fake motherfuckers lurking.
Yes.
You will find them and they will weed themselves out. Like,
they hide, they
dude.
run. They're afraid of real people. That's what it is. They're
Dude.
afraid of the real thing, guys.
Absolutely, brother.
We're blessed, guys. I'm telling you. At
Right
least
there,
for
Gail.
sure, communities are absolutely blessed with the people that we have. I think they're absolutely the most amazing people on the planet. They really are.
Right there. I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of that. The people ruin themselves, right? I mean,
absolutely.
It all
Absolutely.
happens. Like, oh, man, we live and we have to navigate this thing in real time. But yeah, being a piece of shit, that's at the beginning of this fucking thing. What have I said? On Publicly Buzzed, the only rule I have is don't be a piece of shit. You can say whatever you want here.
Same rules I have.
Dude, don't attack people. That's the only rule.
And I beg
it can be whatever.
I beg the people that come into the streams. I'm like, and they people disagree, guys. It's going to happen. I know that, especially with the shit that we cover. There's going to be multiple different opinions on that. But everybody seems to know I've asked one thing. Please just agree to disagree. If you can't agree on it, just shake hands at the end and come back tomorrow. That's all it's about, guys. You know, and they do it. They do it. There's a few people that just don't.
A few people can't handle it.
Right. You know,
but
it
the
is what it
majority
is.
actually do. That's true.
And it's
and
great.
again,
I
they
love
leave themselves out, dude. Like, I've had a bunch of those people, and you know, I mean, the old saying, you can't feed the trolls. There's something to that.
I agree.
Yeah, and again, like, you'll have some people, and I've even actually, there's been multiple times after shows I'll be like, man, what's going on there? Is this person being shitty? And then I'll kind of watch them, and no, you know what I mean? They just have a differing opinion. And then you usually end up finding common ground somewhere down the line with somebody. Is what's crazy. Like,
right, and that's it too. Carolyn said it doesn't get crazy in there because I don't like that. You know what I mean? So if I'm not being that way, like I said, when I first started doing this, the whole positivity thing that I pushed all the time, right? My philosophy on that was, and I've told a lot of these, David knows this, that if I can project positivity to one person, just one person, that person can turn around and show that positivity to 2 other people. Then those 2 people can spread that to 4 people, and so on and so on and so on. And that's why I am that way, because I used to be an asshole. I was a dick, guys. I knew it. I mean, I was a firefighter. I'm an Italian guy. I'm a firefighter. I'm, Mr. Cockstrong. I
can see you get rough. I can see you tear a motherfucker down.
Right. And I didn't like that about myself. And I said, I'm the only one that control this. The only one that can control this. And I'm going to do that. And that's why I started being, projecting the positivity and doing this and doing that and everything else. And it works. I've visually seen it work. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. It doesn't make you a weak person. It doesn't make you pathetic. It doesn't make you sad or whatever you want to call it. It just means that in fact, I feel that if you can do that, it makes you an even stronger person than somebody that's negative that way. So we all have our problems. We all have our miseries, but not everybody has to feel that way about it,
Nah, dude, I 100% agree, man.
Where we at now?
I don't know. Went down a couple of roads, but basically just being humans. Dago, brother, man,
as we do.
This has been a dope. It's 1:30 a.m. here. I think you're a little bit. Where are you at? You're 12, right? 12:30.
Shit.
You're one behind out, ain't you?
It's 1:27 here.
Oh no, shit. We're the same time.
Same time zone.
My bad.
Yep.
Fuck. I don't know why I thought that. But dude, yeah, this show's been dope as hell, man. I knew it was the right call to get Dago on tonight.
Oh, the perfect guest for this. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Dude, thank you everyone that's been hanging out, man. This has been a banger ass show. Again, Feral Friday, keeping it real. Thank you all so much. Keep that in mind. 10:30 p.m. every Friday night. Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Sunday, Murder Church. Please come hang out with me for many hours on Sunday morning. Make sure I'm not bored.
I love that name.
Bring your coffee. We'll end it with a drink, and then we'll enjoy the rest of our Sunday. But yeah, come hang out on watch some Dahmer Trail, classic Dahmer Trail.
I want to promote one thing. We are about 90-ish away from 6K subscribers.
Oh, shit.
If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, sub up. I'm guaranteed pretty much everybody in here is. If you're watching this in the future, if you're time traveling and you're watching this, sub up.
Absolutely. Please do.
We can use the extra subs. We can use the support, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody that's on board right now, guys, seriously, man, we can't thank you enough. But seriously, like, I don't even know what to say. It's awesome. As we get to 6K, what we're going to do is have another freaking awesome show, though. Hopefully a hacker doesn't take us over. Hell, you never know.
It happened last time.
Lurking out here. I try to have
I might leave you alone this time.
Whoa!
Whoa. Is that an admission of guilt? Is that a confession?
I don't know.
Right here. Oh my God. Well, all I know is last time we were celebrating a 5K special and we got attacked by the hacker. So who knows what might happen.
He was a nice hacker.
He was a nice hacker. He let me still have control of the show, and
he was super. Yeah, man, that makes sense though.
Very accommodating.
Dago makes sense. I mean, Dago would have been nice to us.
That's true.
He was the one
He's
that
very
hacked us.
accommodating. Hey, you know what? If we ever meet Dago and like we go to his house and he's just got like tons of 1930s movies, and we're like, whoa, wait a minute,
guys!
That hoodie was very descriptive.
Yes, and that movie,
I would know you by the hoodie if you had that hanging in your closet.
That movie was great, though. It was absolutely.
Man, it was fun.
That was a good pick.
Man, it was fun.
Pick. I had a ball.
I was actually worried about the movie because it's hard to find public domain movies that are actually like can be entertaining, and that was fucking the perfect one. It was amazing.
Right. So you guys are how far off from being to 6,000?
I think
About 90 or so?
88 people.
There you go, 88.
We gotta fix that, folks. I mean, I was gonna say I'm 700 away from 5,000, but like we can fix it.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. You gotta have you been celebrating with your you've actually grown like 2K probably in a couple of weeks. Like you've grown quick here the last minute, bro.
You blew up quick there.
You're killing it right now in the daytime. Like the daytime streams are packed.
Yeah, I've been doing good. I'm pretty pleased. I love the people and it all. It's very, very nice, guys. And they know it. They know I love them. But we can change this.
Fix the static. Hold on, one real quick. Let me fix that static.
Is it just me? Also static, or is it always just me?
I bet it was both because it's coming through the same feed.
That's what I was thinking. Like it has to be both of us.
You should be good now, though. Dago, sorry, brother.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry about that.
No,
yeah,
not your fault at all. It happens all the time.
We can fix this in here, guys. We can break 6,000 for these guys. No, but go get your neighbors, the milkman, the man, whatever.
Here, baby.
Put up some flyers around
he
town.
Likes to have a drink on Friday now. Friday night. That's what I've learned. Feral Fridays are our flagship show.
Let's do some old school marketing. Put some flyers up on some telephone poles.
And I've not been above saying to a motherfucker at the checkout line, "Hey, do you like true crime?"
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And this channel is a welcome thing on a Friday after a week's worth of shit that we all do to come in here on Friday nights, man. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's so fun to have everybody here, man. And to be able to have different guests, man. Like, this is the second one we've had with Dago, dude. Dago's definitely going to be back because he's so fucking easy and fun to talk to. We talked about that before we came on here. He's one of the good ones, man. Like, one of the easy ones.
Yep, for sure.
And
now that we have merch, people can like ask you about like what is that on your shirt, and you can let them know.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For sure.
Go get some merch.
As soon as I get my shirt, it's down, brother. Don't be think I won't be wearing it in my streams because I will.
Yeah, this is the first time I did it. Actually, I kept forgetting the entire week, and tonight I started. Hell, I have. You know what? I have an extra moment when I can actually put together a new sound effect.
I'm sober enough to know what I'm doing, and I'm drunk enough to really enjoy doing it.
Because it's hard.
Yeah.
That's the new motto of the show.
I actually don't even have a shirt of my own. I need to get Stevie on that. I need him to print me one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I got you
immediately.
I got you.
I don't know what I need like one of each, and I'll pay. For
I bought one of each. That's how I started.
Right. Yeah, I'll pay. Well, I don't know if I need one of each. I definitely need Gigi. I need Static Dan, and I need one of the Publicly Buzzed logos.
What I'm actually excited about that I haven't even gotten myself, which I'm starting to put in these orders as they're coming through here. Thank you all so much. But the Feral Friday one, I'm going to be rocking that hoodie probably on this show. I
forgot about the Feral Friday. Yeah,
dude, I'm excited about that one actually.
I think that's the one I want too. Is the Feral
I might
Friday.
need a couple of those just so I have one for every Feral Friday because
it's going to be.
It might not be washed, so I need a clean one.
I should have my first shirt in the next couple of days too. So.
Jan, thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate it. We're about to close this thing up ourselves here.
Gina wants one that says Ricky.
Ricky might be a good shirt. I'll make a Ricky shirt for Gina.
That would be badass.
That might be
Even
right.
if that's just for you, Gina, I'll make the fucking shirt. Like
dude,
that's how like tight this community is. If you fucking want a shirt, holler at me. I'll get you a shirt.
It wasn't even her. Someone else said, "Where's the Ricky Cougarback merch?" Recently, I think it was last night. Maybe.
Somebody, Strychnine, maybe. I think Strychnine said they wanted some Ricky. There's going to be some. Why wouldn't there be Ricky Cougarback merch? He's one of the best mods in the game.
He is. Yeah, he's not a bad dude.
I've always wanted to ask, where did you come up with that name from?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a story. It's not a story. It's a very short story if it's a story, but it sounds silly, but so all right, so at my work, my previous boss was a bit of a stand-up comedian. Like this dude was fucking hilarious. Like we sat cubicle style near his office, right? And he would just come out and check on us every once in a while. And he would basically do a fucking whole like a 5-10 minute bit. Like he would just fucking stand there, talk, like just bring up some funny shit, and
Right.
we had a lot of fun. Like it was like, man, this is the dude that hired me, and he was hilarious, and we just had a lot in common. And our group, it was me, he was the boss, and then it was me and 2 other guys, and we were all just like, I don't know, we all had the same vibe. We all had the same like comedic vibe to each other. But he was the funniest, dude. He was absolutely hilarious. And he would just come out and riff for a little while, 5-10 minutes. And one day we always used to play name games. Like we would come up with funny names, or like for example, a game that we used to do is saying wrestler names but replacing every first letter with H. So like for example, and if the first name started with H, we'd replace it with, this story's turning ridiculous, but so for example, Macho Man Randy Savage would be Hacho Hand Handy Havage, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it just sounds funny. Like we would do dumb shit like that, right?
Right. It passes the time during the day.
So Ricky Cougarback stemmed from John Cougar Mellencamp.
Okay.
So I honestly don't remember the details of how exactly it happened, but he was relating John Cougar Mellencamp in some way and said Ricky Cougarback instead of John Cougar Mellencamp, like just playing with words and playing with names.
Right.
That's how it came up, and I fucking loved it. I put a note in my phone because I thought it was like the coolest sounding name I've ever fucking heard. And I've made that my moniker everywhere ever since. Like my Steam name is that. My Discord name was that. Well, it's not now, but it was for a minute. My YouTube name was that. Like I love the name so much that I've used it pretty much everywhere.
I love it. It's bad.
It's a cool sounding fucking name, right? Ricky Cougarback.
That's a great name.
I'm trying to think of something that it goes with, and I can't put it with it right now. But it's a badass name. I love it.
Yeah, it sounds like it would
name.
be on like Talladega Nights or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Or Southern Wrestling.
recently.
It'd be like a wrestler coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, now making his way down the aisle,
Yes.
Ricky Cougarback.
It does. Yeah, and wrestling names has always been a big thing. Like me, another buddy of mine, we always come up with fake wrestler names, like fake matches, and we just sit them to each other, like just a random name versus a random name. And we have fun doing that. So
it sounds like something you might hear on Trailer Park Boys too.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely that like southern. It's got that southern feel to it, like that, or that redneck feel to it, right?
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, God, I miss that show.
All right, I'm typing in the chat, but keep an eye out, guys, for a future Feral Friday with a drinking game. I'm gonna figure out something here soon.
So I said the H's were replaced with J's, so Hulk Hogan would be Joke Jogan.
Everyone is funny to me.
Dude, you could do it forever. And it's so funny, dude. They really do crack me up.
Pussy on tap.
Were you doing fucking Jake Roberts? Because that's literally the one I was thinking of in my head. Holy shit, that's crazy. Hake the Hake Hoppers, actually.
Hake the Hake Hoppers. Oh god,
dude, Hacksaw Jim Duggan's one of my favorites.
The
Jacksaw him hugging.
The Hater Hoy. The Hater Hoy.
Hunkyard.
Right? It's fucking funny, dude. It makes you belly laugh. It's so funny.
Oh, I can't stop.
Sorry, Dago's trying to say something.
Sorry, Dago.
No, I was just trying to. I was trying to remember some of the old wrestlers I remember from back in the day, and I was like, what the fuck was this? Hunkyard Hog, Junkyard Dog.
Yes,
remember him?
Dude, that's a good one. Yep. Hunk Hard Hog.
I love it,
dude. It's so funny. It really is.
I'm gonna be doing this all day tomorrow now.
Dude, it's my favorite game of all time. It really is.
What was the one dude that wore the kilt? Yeah, the kilts all the time. Oh shit, Roddy Piper.
Well, hang on. Ricky Cougarback wasn't part of that game. I was just kind of giving some backstory to how we used to like joke around with like names and shit. And I actually can't remember the details of how Ricky Cougarback came from John Cougar Mellencamp. But you can see it. You can see it. Like
Feral Friday is Feral Friday. Harold Hottie.
Yeah, that's good.
Harold
Retarded
Hottie.
hog.
Ham Higolo.
Only
Oh,
men.
fuck.
Yeah, this is definitely a guy game, right?
The women are
only
like,
men.
the women are sitting there like, what the hell are they talking about? Okay, I'm out. Bye.
It's so fucking silly, dude.
Oh, we're getting out of here. Oh my god.
Howdy, hyper.
Howdy, hyper.
Howdy, hyper. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're cracking me up too hard. Oh, I've had a few tonight also. Dago, brother, what are you doing next?
I am nothing. I'm off for a couple days unless I do a I'm bored surprise stream tomorrow. I'm definitely off on Sunday. Monday I will be back at noon or 12:30 to jump right back into the grind. I was thinking I might do tomorrow. I was thinking about doing a Discord members only, sadly, because it's Discord jam night like I do with my music stuff, just for the hell of it. Depends on what the boss has going on. But other than that, Monday, I'll be live again, 12:30. And that night, we are covering, what are we covering that night? In the Midnight Series, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I completely lost. It's late for me. I can't. I'll let you guys know. But we're doing a movie that night. The truth behind it. And that's about it, guys. I still think we need to get everybody over here on one of these.
We got a link to Dago's Discord.
I'm
not even in there. I don't even. Yeah, I didn't even.
Do
I'm
you
not
put,
even
do you
aware.
put those in your description or anything, Dago?
What's that?
Your Discord link?
It's in all my stuff. So
yeah, let me get it real quick.
Yeah, let's throw that in chat. Actually, I want it for myself because I'm not even in there. I didn't even know.
Yeah, same. I don't think I'm in there either.
Heather might have it too. She was in here. I don't know if she's still in here. But
God damn it, Gina.
See, Heather knows everything. We're doing Goodfellas Monday night, folks.
Oh, dude, I love Goodfellas. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let me look in here. I'm gonna look at your show today and look at your description.
We did. I don't know if you guys
saw
the movie night we did, which I got from you. The idea from you guys, badass idea. We did Donnie Brasco for the movie night we watched. Great movie.
Dago, do you have do you have the link to your Discord?
To my Discord? I do not. I don't even know how to work the Discord half the time.
Is that where that's where you're saying you're going to watch the movie, right?
When we do the movie night, we do them in Discord, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Like you guys did. I got the idea from you guys and everybody loves it. So
dude, that's perfect. That's honestly the communication that you can get in Discord. Sam, pop that in there right now, the Discord. Yeah, I love Discord, man. I'm in love with it.
That's why I was gonna say that's why I want to start doing the music in there, because you can play videos and everything in there.
Yeah.
So
you can get so interactive, man. Yeah, we had an Unsolved Mysteries party last weekend. Actually jump in the Discord tonight, guys, because I'll probably jump in there and we'll do some stuff. I may start a video tonight. There's video channels. I can literally play YouTube videos. We can hang out right now. Boom. Jump in the Discord.
A lot of times we do after shows and hang out in there.
Actually, there's an after party room in Discord. I'm gonna post in there right now. If you're not posting in there, you should be.
If you want your voice heard, you can have your mic on. I mean, we kind of just hang. Like last week, it was the first time we did it, right? Was that last weekend or was that 2 weeks
It was
ago?
immediately after Feral Friday last weekend. We had a little party in the voice channels. Look, there's a channel called Unsolved Mysteries. I'm gonna jump in there as soon as we get off. We're gonna watch. We're gonna hang out. Hang out for a little while, anyways. Okay, but here's the real question. Okay, the next time you're gonna see Dan is next Thursday. Next time I go live is Sunday for Murder Church. But when are we going to see Dan on Murder Church?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's
When are
fucking
you gonna
early,
make your
dude.
debut on Murder
It's
Church.
so
What are we
early.
for?
You do it at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
This is my day off. Hey.
It's hard. I understand.
When do you typically end?
About 1:30.
1.
When you wake up.
How far in are you now?
Hang on. Actually, I wake up at 11:30 on Sundays, right? Every Sunday. But I go back to sleep.
Okay. So you don't wake up.
No, I do wake
So you
up. I
take a
wake up.
piss? Are we telling
to
them
do
to
shit.
wake up?
No,
What are we doing?
I take my wife to work, so I do
Okay.
actually have to go out and do things.
All right.
For about 30
Barely
minutes.
counts.
I wish I can't.
And then I come home and go back to sleep. No, I can. Oh, dude, I can sleep basically anytime.
He can sleep all day.
I can go to sleep right now, anytime I want to. No, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
We're gonna have to get you on there for a Murder Church episode.
There's gonna be a Sunday where I don't feel like shit because I do. I like Saturday. Actually, tomorrow I'm not doing shit. Like nobody's coming over. I'm not fucking partying tomorrow or nothing. So
listen,
I might be in good condition this Sunday.
I'm making
no
a request.
promises though.
I'm gonna make a request to you guys. The next time, whether it be when you hit 6,000 or whatever it is, I want to join you guys on here, and for you to play another movie like that, like you did last time. Because I'm telling you right now, guys, I had an absolute blast with that movie.
It was so fun.
That was fun, dude.
So fun.
So
Cool.
I want to join you guys for that next time.
Okay.
That's
all right.
No, that's probably one of my if not my favorite, one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. Like it was a complete blast.
I just imagine the three of us doing this, even with anybody else watching that movie and just going off on the movie. Like,
dude, I mean, props to Jay from the Shaming of Jay, though, man. He's hilarious. He brings the heat with the just
comedy.
literal in real time commentary. Like that's what he does, and it's fucking amazing.
That's his job. Literally.
Yeah, and I'm sure Jay will be probably heading out too, but I'll keep that in mind, definitely, David, because I think that you would be awesome on here, brother. Like I said, man, like you've been fun as shit every time we brought. This is only the second time we brought you on here, but both times, this one right here has been dank as hell.
This has been amazing.
Hopefully Sunday morning we'll get Dan on here. Even if we don't, Murder Church. I'm just trying to put it in a little harder. We're not going to see him. Murder Church Sunday 9 a.m. Hang out for a couple hours.
I'm not the fucking main attraction. It's not like I'm gonna bring more people in.
Gina's gonna be here. She wants Ricky, baby. Tuesday 10 p.m. Thursday 10 p.m. Fridays 10:30 p.m. Guys, we're gonna get the hell out of here. We appreciate you hanging out. This has been an awesome one. I hope that we maybe touched your third eye a little bit, maybe opened your third eye a little bit. You know, the Amityville story is crazy. It took us down another weird road on Feral Fridays, but yeah. Definitely. In the description, follow Dago. I'm sorry.
PubliclyBuzzed.com.
PubliclyBuzzed.com. Get your merch. Hang out. Follow us on Twitter. We love you guys. Later.
If we shoot them up bang bang over here, we not scared of they motherfucking ass.
So good, Diego. That was fun with me.